series. Moscow was followed by Morocco, and now the United Kingdom's turn to play host. We've got over 200 elite athletes here from 56 countries around the world. We've got world champions and we've got Olympic champions. And tonight we'll be crowning 3 brand new champions, Grand Prix champions at that. We're about to go live to 90 countries around the world as we say welcome to Great Britain, to this great capital city, because this is London!
Three in this afternoon, so it's very, very exciting, and I also get to watch my husband coaching as well, so good for me.
Absolutely, and also you can give us all the insight on the coaching and preparation. That will be Steve Jennings, the coach, in charge of Mohammad Cho, but will he be in charge of his semi-final against the up-and-coming Russian Akiev? But of course, first things first, the men's 68kg semi-final. And the athletes are eagerly anticipating their entrance. And of course, we will then enjoy the very best of the Taekwondo. And just in terms of some small changes, now 8x8 in terms of the size of the ring. And then there is kicks to the body protector that are worth 1 point. Up to the head for 3. And the big power punch for 1 point as well. So kicking and punching, the order of the day in Taekwondo. 2 points for a body shot. And Sarah, a slight change in terms of how things work now. More points for the more difficult techniques. Good to see.
Yeah, it's a really, really good time to be involved in the sport, and certainly to watch it. It's a lot more exciting than it has been, say, in the last, say, 3-4 years. So for me, this is a mix of kind of bit of the old, mix of a bit of the new, and a little bit more dynamic. So, like I said, it's a good place at the moment.
And not only that, talk about the points making prizes, cash prizes, slightly different than your generation.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Any jealousy?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's be honest.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I'm a little bit gutted. Maybe a little bit of back pay would be good.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Get the old athletic resume out. Let's
Yeah.
get an invoice out to the World Taekwondo Federation. But who's going to come home with the big cash prize tonight? Bradley Sinden against Joel Gonzalez. They are up first. Ahmad Agabosh, he's the man, the Olympic champion. And he will go against Alexei Denisenko. And as we come up to this one, Sarah, you're of course Doncaster's finest. Likewise, the next generation, Bradley Sinden, coming through from King's Taekwondo in Doncaster, a young man that you know well.
Yeah, it's, you know what, I am really, really proud of where I come from, and just to see another athlete coming from my hometown, you know, and so young, you know, it's just amazing. I'm so proud of him.
Great Britain's Bradley Sinden, junior European champion and world bronze medalist to boot.
The bronze medalist from the Rio Olympic Games from Spain, Joel Gonzalez Bonilla.
And what an opponent to go up against. Joel Gonzalez Bonilla, the form favourite coming into this one, Olympic bronze medalist. And he's won a couple of Grand Prix titles as well. And lovely moments for the young volunteers coming in here. Hannah Sadiq there from Premier Taekwondo. Quite inspiring for them.
Yeah, and they have to go through a process to, to be here as well. They have to go get nominated, and they deserve their slot here as well. So, they've had to fight to be their mascots as well. And we have Zach Angel, from Lion Taekwondo.
So it's safe to say he'll be in heaven tonight. Zach Angel and Joel Gonzalez Bonilla. It's time for business now. The Spanish fighter, the taller of the two, but we know Bradley Sinden's style, Sarah. He loves to get up close and personal and just keep fighting forward. Yeah, he likes that middle distance. He's very intimidating, very much in your face, as it were. And they're both very, very tall as well. Usually Joel Gonzalez has the edge on most people, but not much bigger than Bradley, so it should be a really, really good match. And talk of good matches, Saul Gutierrez, the Mexican, put up a real close contest in that quarter-final. He was up for points for the majority of the match, but like a true champion, Joel Gonzalez stormed back in, and Bradley Sinden, well, he joined us here in the commentary box yesterday for the Para World Taekwondo Championship, shared his knowledge. Nice little bit of football there, just volleys the headguard in the air as they go through the pleasantries of exchanging blows, as they did with Christian McNish, a close one. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a seeded competition, so you get who you rightly so should have, and unfortunately they're both competing in the first match. Golden point, so overall for GB, it's really good that the training's going really, really well. It is, the training counts, and the truth makes the training here on the mat. Bradley Sinden, he's the man in blue. Joel Gonzalez going with a little judo hip toss there over the shoulder, and the Gamjon straight away. Foul play from the Spaniard, and it's a good start for Sinden. Both in the closed stance, just taking their time, looking for the distance. Gonzalez, a low check to the leg there. Gamjon looking a little bit ragged, Sarah. Yeah, he looks a little bit uneasy, a little bit, unsure of what he's doing. So, anything can happen. The first 30 seconds and 2 points already. And Bradley hasn't actually created that himself. So a few mistakes from Joel Gonzalez. Yep, putting the pressure on Joel Gonzalez, and that has resulted in those 2 penalty points. Bradley has a very good sense of where his body is and how, the way that he can use his legs to get up over and score little sneaky points, as they just did there. Little 2 points there in the clinch. He's very, very good in the clinch, considering he's quite tall, because usually it is quite hard in the short distance when you've got long legs. Yeah, the long legs of Sinden scoring that little simple 2-pointer, extends it to 4 as we creep into the last minute of an engrossing first round. Good attempted headshot there from Joel Gonzalez, not to be ruled out. Cutting low to the leg quite a lot though, the Spanish fighter, so needs to be careful. He's eaten a Gamjon already. Anything below the belt should be a Gamjon, but possibly the referee didn't see that one. Well, Bradley Sinden seeing that one coming for sure. Faking, motioning, controlling the Spanish fighter on the way in, and it's been a very good start. And I'm liking these little fakes, these little motions, Sarah. Yeah, I think it's got the little fakes going on, and I think when he attacks, 3 points there for Joel Gonzalez. I didn't actually see where that went. Neither did Bradley Sinden, but obviously he went for the body shot, left the back door open, got kicked in the face, and it is the Spaniard who's now into the last 10 seconds in this opening period. The men's under 68 kilogram semi-final tries with a punch and a shot on the way through, and that is a perfect way, Sarah, to end that first round. Yeah, I think, being 4-0 up in the first few seconds maybe made Bradley Sinden a little bit too comfortable. You can't rule out someone like Joel Gonzalez, and I think maybe he probably feels like he's back in the game a little bit now. and of course a former teammate of both of ours. He'll be glad that he's back in the game. Martin Stamper, so important to have that coaching relationship.
Yeah, him and Bradley are working really, really well together. He also coaches Christian, who he fought in the first round as well. So quite tough for Martin, but it's great to see ex-athletes, ex-Olympic athletes, not so much even just from Great Britain, but I'm sure there's more athletes here turning professional coaches, so great to see. And just saw that little headshot there. I think Bradley Sinden just switched off a little bit coming out of the clinch.
Yep, left a space, and the Spanish fighter was straight on it, capitalised, pulls himself back into this, but it's still a 6-3 advantage to Bradley Sinden, Doncaster's finest. Can he seal? It would be a massive upset win here to get into this Grand Prix stage. Well, he has a World Championship bronze medal from Korea in the summertime in Muju, but he's got his mojo going here in London. Can he score further? Joel Gonzalez trying to slow things down, using that long front leg. Steady pressure from the Spaniard. And Sinden really showing a lot of professionalism here, Sarah.
Yeah, I think, the way he got caught a little bit on, on the head on the first round has just made him realise, hang on a minute, let's just refocus, get back to everything. That sometimes you need that, though. Sometimes you need to get a bit shaken up to make you refocus.
Yep, you've got to stay awake, stay alive to the threat of the Spaniard, of course. Olympic medalist, world level fighter for a number of years. And he has the form favourite coming into this one, but it's as we were, no points on the board so far in this second round, and that will suit the British fighter in blue, who does another nice fake, another motion. He's in the head of Joel Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to be careful there in that middle distance. It is quite hard to score on this system, to the front side there where Joel tried to score. But what Bradley is very, very good at is trying to find a gap. I think he just hit Bradley on the head.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Sarah. A little bit of another judo move there.
The referee has kind of let him off there because I think it was an accident. But
no, I'm going to be less charitable than that. That was a drag of the head, no question about it. Being from Glasgow, we recognise that straight away. Grabbed him by the head, tried to pull him out of the ring. There's a headshot attempt from Sinden, and it lands, and that will help his cause.
I think that will make him feel a lot more comfortable now. I think Joel Gonzalez there, I think he felt like he knew he was quite lucky not getting the Gamjung hit, grabbing Bradley's head there, and I think he lost his focus and Bradley took advantage.
Trying to take advantage again, another throw, but this time the Gamjung given the other way. A little bit of overacting there from Bradley Sinden. Pays the price and loses a point. 9-4 in favour of the man from Doncaster. Lands another shot on the inside there. That's a handy two-pointer as we creep towards the ends of the second round. He's got Joel Gonzalez's number at the moment, and the numbers add up as the clock ticks down back to the respective corners. That was a great round.
Bradley is just so young, and that round there to me looked like somebody 5-6 years older than him should be able to control a match like that, and definitely to control somebody like Joel Gonzalez of his experience. So yeah, very, very impressed.
And speaking of experience, obviously you've fought and won at the very top level. Some athletes, well, Bianca Walton for example, moves along a kind of basic middle quarter-final level and then makes a big step up to these medal matches. Bradley Sinden is doing that here. What does that take? If you're an athlete watching at home, how do you make that jump?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Any time that I coach sessions with the junior squad or anybody, I always say, when it's getting hard, when you're doing speed, when you're doing anything, the last round should be your best, because that's the way you have to go in a competition. Your final should always be the best. That's the way you should train, even if you're just kicking pads or anything like that.
Well, speaking of the last round and giving it your maximum to get into that final, both men still very much in contention. Let's not rule out Joel Gonzalez. Of course, this is taken live on the BBC, but very much an international flavour to this Grand Prix. And Joel Gonzalez very much in contention. It just needs a couple of headshots. He's got close so far, but it is Sinden bossing things, standing in the centre of the ring and eyeballing Joel Gonzalez, who looks a little bit shook at the moment here. There's a headshot, as we mentioned, just sailing past. Good cover there from Sinden in the last second.
I think, definitely lucky there. I think what Joel Gonzalez is good at is being dynamic, but that's also what Joel is probably going to get caught on, because Bradley's very good at just finding a gap. So when someone comes dynamic and fast, then you are going to be quite open at somewhere, and Bradley seems to find that. But also Bradley needs to be aware, because if something's coming fast, like he put his hand up there, maybe he might not be so lucky. So he's doing really, really well, keeping the focus.
And that focus very much on the face, etched on the eyebrows of Sinden. He's glaring down the barrel at Gonzalez at the moment. And the Spaniard can't find any answers at the moment. He looks a little bit confused and bemused here in the centre stage in the copper box. Can he find a shot? Back kick there. It does land for Gonzalez, clawing himself back into this one. Less than a minute to go in the third and potentially final round. 5-point gap. Bradley Sinden, good footwork, but it's a nice little score there from Sinden.
I think Bradley was slightly surviving a little bit there, and Gonzalez again trying to creep back in. Anything can happen, you know. 5-6 points is 2-3 shots max in this game now.
No question about it, but they've got 30 seconds and some change left in which to do it. A little push forward there from Sinden, staying on the offensive, flicks it up to the face, scores, and that could close this one out as a contest here into the last 20 seconds. Bradley Sinden on the cusp of the Grand Prix final here, and it's going to be an intervention from the referee. Joel Gonzalez has lost the momentum. Has he lost this match? He came in as the favourite. He looks absolutely out on his feet here. Tries it, walks into a back kick. Sinden has a chance to look at the scoreboard, and it makes very good reading indeed. 4 seconds to go, and it is going to be a Grand Prix final, Sarah, for Bradley Sinden.
Go Donny.
The Donny bomber strikes again, and he's into the final. Joel Gonzalez, well, he came in, he had the reputation, but this young man couldn't care less about it, stuck it to him, went for a fight, and not only that, we talked about Martin Stamper, the coach in the corner. They had their game plan rock solid.
Yeah, I think there was literally one time Bradley switched off where Joel Gonzalez took advantage of. Other than that, I think he really, really played the match well. He controlled. Definitely the second and third round, Joel Gonzalez was pretty much unsure of what to do. Bradley had everything sorted. If he was coming with the front leg, he was covering, he was moving back. So yeah, he played that match perfect.
He did play it perfect, and of course now preparation for the final. Do you go back and have sausage and mash, fish and chips? What's the nutrition that's involved?
At this moment, I would say lots of fluids, getting some sugar and some electrolytes in there. Jelly babies were the one for me.
I do remember that. And that always kept you calm. But talk about calm here as we saw some of the highlights of the day. That headshot there, didn't score on that occasion, but to have the presence to stand in there and throw that, he's really matured.
Yeah, I mean, for someone so young, I think the winning the medal in the world has given him that huge boost of confidence to be able to stand there, to stand in that middle distance and control someone of that experience is definitely, it's just phenomenal.
It is indeed phenomenal skills, and what a result for him as well. And of course the athletes will be preparing, getting ready for their final. Very, very impressed there by Bradley Sinden. Joel Gonzalez, well, I think he's less impressed. But talk about entertainment. The next match on its way in just a couple of moments. Here come the refs. And there is confirmation. Ahmad Abagosh against Alexei Denisenko. Olympic champion Abagosh, well, he stormed to success in Rio. And who did he beat in that final? Well, it was Alexei Denisenko. Repeat or revenge? And I know that Abagosh was training up in the British Institute before Rio and used the sparring there. A world-class facility that you have up in Manchester. Yeah,
the facility at GB Taekwondo in Manchester is definitely world-class, potentially one of the best in the world of what I've seen. And yeah, he was training there before the Olympics, and I think, you know, the British athletes were potentially at the edge over him, but I think something happened to Abagosh at the Olympics for him to be able to win that, and he's kept the form. So
well, you know what that's like, Sarah. Sometimes you go in as the form favourite, and in this one, this would be Alexei Denisenko, who's in your screen just now, and he's been walked in by Jade McGowan of Kickstart. You know, sometimes at an Olympic game, strange things can happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think we see that a lot. Countries there you wouldn't think could get to the final, never mind win it. We see that a lot in Taekwondo, you know, so it just it just gives something special. They have to fight a little bit more than maybe other people do. You know, they don't have the great facilities in their country compared to some, and it's those countries that a lot of the time come out fighting and get the results as well. There's something I really, really love about our sport.
Well, that's the great thing about it. We've got that global medal spread because there's a world champion, an Olympic champion in every street, be it Doncaster, be it in Darfur, be it in Spain or Scotland, wherever. If you've got that desire to do it, the road is open to you, and also now for the Para-Olympic as well. Yeah,
it's just at the moment, like I said at the beginning, it's just a great time for Taekwondo. You know, the Para is just coming on leaps and bounds. And you know, can't wait to watch it in Tokyo. And again, it's just an exciting time to be around the sport.
And speaking of Tokyo, both of these men will have their eyes on ranking points on that trail to Tokyo as Jose Cornelius Eduardo, the centre referee, calls them to attention. This one, the semi-final in the under 68 kilograms. They will know that Bradley Sinden of Great Britain awaits. They couldn't care about that just now because they've got their hands and feet full at the moment. Denisenko of Russia, the man in red, Abagosh in blue, and straight away both men sharing a few welcoming kicks. Footwork from Sinden was vital in that win against Joel Gonzalez. Abagosh is noted for his dancing style, likes to move around. Denisenko, that Russian mindset, very calm, composed. Big punch from Abagosh, not much power on it though.
I think if Bradley came up against Denisenko, they're very similar, so I think it potentially could be a cagey match, but Denisenko is so experienced, so strong, so tall for that weight group as well. But Abagosh, for me, I like watching him. He's got great technique. He always does something quite exciting, so he's someone that the young athletes really look up to at the moment.
Like it's a funny thing to say, but you know, Tazagul Servet was the generation before. This is now the equivalent, the spinning style, the exciting style.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a mix there, Abagosh, and he's kind of been able to adapt to this modern game, but still keeping it quite exciting. So again, that's the reason why, you know, the young athletes are looking up to him as well.
Yeah, and looking up on the scoreboard, it's good times for Denisenko. The reputation and the quality of the Jordanian, well, the Russian just keeping his game plan. Good double kick there, the lesser spotted double kick in Taekwondo. Good to see that back. Headshot just missing. And as we creep into the last 30 seconds, well, the Russians had a good start here.
Yeah, I think the way that Denisenko scored then was is the way that it's a little bit easier to score that way, where if you put your leg up and the athlete falls into your leg, it's quite an easy way to score, and I think that's exactly what just happened there again as well.
No, you're absolutely right. Timing is of the essence, letting your opponent fall into you as we fall towards the last 10 seconds of what has been a evenly contested first round. Back kick attempt there from Abagosh, followed with a chop kick block. I don't know if I've ever seen that one before, but we're going to get a chance to catch our breath here. No points in terms of the last minute there, but a couple each, evenly poised. And Abagosh, the only thing, he's coming back from injury. You know what that's like to get that momentum again, especially when you've got that creative style.
Yeah, I think he obviously relies on being quite dynamic, so when you're injured, you know, that is quite difficult to find what am I going to do now that part of me has gone. So he is going to struggle a little bit, but you know, it's still 2-2, so it's anyone's game. Very similar the way they both scored, and I think Denisenko seems like he's got a little bit of a game plan there. Obviously Abagosh is trying to go in with the punches, and Denisenko just lifting his leg up there, falling onto the kick, and making it quite easy for him to score. I'll see, you know, wonder if he's going to try that again.
We will wait in eager anticipation, not for too much longer. Ringside seats, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure to have you with us. We're here in the Copper Box Arena for the third Grand Prix of the season. That's the voice of Sarah Stevenson, Britain's first ever world champion and Olympic medalist, giving us the expert analysis so far as both men move into an open stance this time. Trying to go forward with that little cut down the stairs there. Denisenko, it's a two-pointer though from the Russian. Abagosh rushing in, leaving a little space. And it is good footwork from Alexei Denisenko as he opens a useful little lead here at the start of the second round.
I think Denisenko has really studied how to score on these body armors as well, because to the back. If you see they're both standing in that stance, which we call the open stance, that is the easiest part of the body armour to score. So they're both trying to flick to the back, but I think Denisenko's got the edge a little bit there.
Yep, he certainly does. As you say, the game plan, and he's got the edge, certainly on the scoreboard as well. But a little bit of an impasse in this second round. Both men just slowing down, saving up their energy for the final surge here in this second period of the semis. A minute to go. A little hook kick around the corner from Denisenko, just keeping Abagosh busy. And of course you can catch the atmosphere, the tension there, just in that silence. Both fighters not really wanting to commit. I think the referee's going to be called in here. A little technical dispute. Was it a kick to the leg?
It was a technical error.
Technical error on the scoreboard. Someone's obviously pulled out a plug somewhere. As we focus in there on the video review jury, of course, in Taekwondo, they make sure, yeah, you can see there, just making sure the head guard is working. Electronic head guards. Brought in after a certain scoring controversy in Beijing 2008. I don't know.
Oh, let's not talk about
We'll
it.
leave that for leave that for the lunch break. But it's a little break for both fighters here.
It's really good now that the screen actually tells you when there's an error. I think when they first, brought the electronic scoring out a few years, the coach might have to shout and say, it's not working, can we test? And now the electronic system will tell you when something's not working, which is so much better and so much more fluid. Although we have to stop here, it's not going to deem as unfair to any athlete.
Absolutely, no question, just making sure that the technology is working. You don't want to be working and hard and kicking away there and getting no value for it. And this is a tense time now as we have a little look at some of the action so far. But when you're stuck there in the middle, Sarah, and there's an impasse, are you thinking your game plan? Are you just concentrating on your breathing? Are you thinking what to do next?
I think sometimes you are, just because you've already done a lot of thinking. And I think at this point, you're just waiting for it to start again. For me, certainly, I don't remember thinking too intensely about much, really, depending on where it was in the match and how tired you are. So it just depends, really. I think they've done all the hard work now. It's just that, okay, let's fix it and crack on.
Well, speaking of fixing it and cracking on here, hard work on the sprint through there from the technology department, just making sure they've got two fresh headgears and they're making sure that the scores were as they were. This is a little technical error in the proceedings, as can happen, but it should be rectified very shortly indeed. Just to let you know, of course, the winner of this will go up against Bradley Sinden of Great Britain. And speaking of British interest, Lauren Williams coming up next, and she will go against Paige McPherson, a fighter that you know well, Sarah.
Yeah, me and Paige fought. That was actually my last ever
in London
fight. Actually, when you think about it, it's quite emotional. In here, yeah, in London, not in this arena, but in London at the Olympics. So yeah, I mean, she was probably the only one that wasn't seeded that we probably were a little bit we don't really want to fight her. She's probably one of the better ones that were up and coming, and not to take it away from Paige, because she was brilliant that day, to come away with the bronze medal. I wasn't.
Well, you were coming in from cruciate ligament surgery, hadn't fought, hadn't trained.
Hadn't fought in a year, had ACL reconstruction, and had also personal tragedy. So
sure.
It was an amazing fight for me. Just to be at the Olympics was just the triumph for me, because it's not always about winning the medals. Every athlete here, every Olympic athlete has a story, and you don't always see those stories, you just see the medals, but sometimes being there or trying to compete in any sport is just as good for that person as it is to win.
No question about it, and wise words. When you've scaled the heights, well, you can also appreciate the lows as well, and of course that experience vital. Both men have had their share of trials and tribulations as well. Abagosh winning that Olympic Games, but since then he's been off the boil a little bit. A couple of bronze medals here and there in the open circuits, but not too much success in the Grand Prix, so trying to find his momentum again. And Alexei Denisenko, well, a silver in Moscow in his home Grand Prix. I wonder if they're going to send out to Moscow for batteries for this head guard.
Certainly is taking a little bit longer than I'm sure they hope, but hopefully it looks like we might be testing the system again and looking to start.
Yep, as you say, we should be back in business. Head guards to test, body armours likewise. And the only head that matters is who is ahead at the moment, and it will be a chance for Denisenko to try and get that momentum back. We mentioned that it is, of course, 4-2 to Denisenko, who has that momentum. A big break there in that second round. Both men have got to now get on the move. And Abagosh trying to fire that little hook kick under the body protector. And into the last 30 seconds here.
Denisenko's legs are just so long. You know, it's very, very similar to Bradley. So again, like I said, if he gets the final, it'll be very interesting. But a sneaky little shot there from Abagosh, finding the gaps, going high, faking high, and then going to the body. Again, like I said before, to the back. Both of them.
Yep, both of them scoring round the back and pulling himself back into the match now. Ahmad Abagosh, as we reach the end of the second round, 6 points apiece. And lots to ponder here. Denisenko had the lead for a lot of that one. And it was a very much elongated round. I think they'll need this rest, really. They had a good couple of minutes standing talking to each other.
It's almost like they're going to start again, so they're going to be quite fresh for this round. But just at the end there, it seemed to look like they both were finding their way of how to score on each other. So potentially round 3 could be a little bit more exciting, or at least more shots. But we shall see. We
will indeed. Ringside seats here. Wherever you're joining us from, great to have you, of course. And 2 more days of Grand Prix action. And lots of home interest as well. Also in tonight's proceedings, Muhammad Cho going in the men's heavyweights later on. Get a chance to look forward to this one, but looking forward to a shot at the final here. Alexei Denisenko against Ahmad Abagosh. You can see for yourself the score. Well, the Mayor of London sign is there. Who's going to be the king of the ring? Denisenko on the back foot into that open stance. The hook kick round the corner. Decks it. Will take the Gamjon.
Definitely more action right from the start. Again, like I said, they're both thinking, you know what, I think I've found a way how to score, and unlucky.
Yep, getting close with that one. But of course, the Gamjon makes the difference. Denisenko flicks one up over the shoulder. Got close with that headshot. Not enough power on it. And there's the body kick this time. Lands it clean. 3-point gap now. The Jordanian jumps into the lead. And too much defensiveness there on the back foot. Jose Eduardo Cornelius, the referee, not happy with that. And likewise, the coach not happy with the decision.
Yeah, he's going to try and take that Gamjon off there. But it's difficult now. It's very, very difficult to protest anything. There's a lot of very, very good rules, but sort of some grey areas. But I suppose that's like in a lot of sports. But like I said, it is in a really, really good place.
Yep, no question about it. The technological adaptations allowing for fairness, but also as Nedes Tavares of Puerto Rico has a little chat there with Barbara Marion, the referee, just to make sure that they're getting this one right. They want the Gamjon invalidated for the reason of, I think, going backwards and not fighting, not engaging.
Yeah, for me it was definitely kicking below the waist. You know, if you hold your leg up and not really show any intent, and it's below the waist, it always has to be up and with some intent if you're not actually connecting.
Yep, checking a bit low. And the referee, well, this is the bone of contention here, and it's quite pivotal.
That was deemed as, you know, lifting your leg up and not actually with any intent. It doesn't look so low, but we'll see.
Yeah, we certainly will, and it could be important. The Gamjon bring it to a 2-point game rather than a 3-point advantage at the moment. Barbara Marion shaking her head there. Let's see what the adjudication is. Nedes Tavares says it's successful, and the Gamjon is invalidated. So our instincts were correct.
And that must be very tough when you're a referee, when you actually do get something wrong, because you quite clearly could see that it wasn't below the waist, but it wasn't actually with intent. So, you know, maybe you just misunderstood that a little bit.
Sure, but it's like anything. The coaches will get it wrong, the athletes will make a mistake. Even in commentating, Sarah, we might make the odd mistake. I mean, it hasn't happened yet.
Not yet, but there's
still
more
time.
days.
Plenty of time. And not much time left in this third round. There's a nice little body shot, even things up, 9 points apiece. Abagosh scores one of his own. As Sarah Stevenson told us, down the stretch the action will pick up, and picking up a nice little double kick there. All to play for. 11 points apiece. There's a nice shot from Abagosh.
It's really coming into play now, like again, they're both a little bit more open because they're trying to risk taking shots, and Denisenko for me is really trying to push those doubles in that we don't really get to see that often now. But the sneaky little shots with the hook, with the heel and round the back are paying off for Abagosh.
Yep, they most certainly are indeed. Abagosh living up to his reputation. Big back leg counter on the way through, tries to spin for a back kick. He's fallen in the act of doing so, so obviously he'll take a Gamjon for that. Is he going to try and play the old I'm injured card?
Well, he can't really do that. He needs to get up, he needs to fight.
Well, he threw that back kick. Looked to take a sore one on the Achilles tendon on the way through. So some running repairs from the medical team, but talk about running the rule over this one. 15-13, and all of those points, as you rightly predicted, Sarah, in that last 30-second flurry.
Yeah, I think, again, you could just see that that was going to happen, but you can say something on commentating and then it could have been the most boring round you've ever seen. You never know.
That's true. But, you know.
But I was right.
You were right, so claim it and own it.
I will claim it, I will own that, and let's just hope he can carry on and give us some more action, because it is very, very close.
Yep, and he's also
And
close
he's
to
probably
being
going to
able
get a
to continue.
Gamjon. If he does continue, it should be 15-14.
Yep, I wonder if it will be fit to continue. Well, the World Taekwondo Federation doctor, Chung Won Che, saying that he's fit to continue, as is Abagosh, a redoubtable warrior, and as you called it rightly, the Gamjon will be given, and that will pull it back to a 1-point game here. All to play for into the last 30 seconds now. Alexei Denisenko, 1 point down, trying to push forward, goes with a little cut around the corner.
It's really working for him, the kicks round the back, but as he does, if you can see, Abagosh really puts his arm around the back to stop Denisenko from scoring, which leaves his front open, so we'll see if Denisenko can use his back leg to try to score.
Well, jumping for the doubles there, trying to land Denisenko. Abagosh doesn't want to fall, lands a big body shot, and he's live one leg out there. Is he going to take the Gamjon for it? Well, I'm not happy with it. Into the last 7 seconds now. Alexei Denisenko points down. Abagosh, well, it all points to a victory for the Jordanian. He will take that Gamjon all day, and he will kill the clock. He couldn't care less. And Alexei Denisenko vested in the last seconds. There will be another Gamjon. But Ahmad Abagosh marches on to the final, where he will meet Bradley Sittenden of Great Britain. What a way to end that fight there. Denisenko gave it all he had, but Abagosh, just that quality at the end.
It was at the end, just those underneath, as we would call a cut underneath. You know, one player bringing the leg out, the other person trying to go underneath. Two of those, you know, 4 points, falling on the floor a couple of times. You know, you're still up. But that is going to be a really, really exciting final, and I'm really glad to see Bradley up there now against the Olympic champion. You know, I think whatever the result, he will just rise to the occasion. You can just see that in his whole demeanour and his body language. And
speaking of body language and demeanour, it was quite a heavy fall there at the end for Abagosh, so we'll see. He looks to be okay to continue. He'll surf off of the adrenaline to get him through this. But some explosive action here, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, Denisenko for me again, just showing us the doubles and actually scoring with one of them as well. Unfortunately, we didn't see any more points from that. But Denisenko again, you know, I know he didn't win, but I liked the way that he tried to score around the back and that wasn't working. And then if it wasn't working, he used the hook to the front and then scoring with the heel, which is, you know, again, a better chance to score around the front of the body armour rather than the instep.
Yep, using that variety, as you say. There was a little hook this time from Abagosh that made a little bit of a difference on the scoreboard, but down the stretch he killed off the threat of Denisenko, and that sets up a pulsating final, and that completes the men's under 68 kilogram semi-finals. And we will shift on now to the under 67 kilogram female division, And there's some top class matches for you. Great Britain against the USA first, and then Croatia against Cote d'Ivoire. And there's confirmation for you. Lauren Williams against Paige McPherson. And that one, McPherson of course coming in from recent success. Lauren Williams, the up and coming fighter, a big moment for her.
Yeah, I think Paige and Lauren actually fought not so long ago in the President's Cup in Las Vegas, I think 2 weeks ago, so not so long ago, which Lauren did come out on top. So a little rematch, very close rematch, very fresh rematch, should I say.
Absolutely. And who will be the freshest of the two fighters? Repeat or revenge? Lauren Williams and Hannah Sadiq there, looking ready to rumble. And Lauren Williams, a very aggressive fighter. She only knows one direction, and that's forward. She
does, and you know, she should never stop being who she is, and she hasn't. You know, from winning the first Junior World Championships when she could probably only do one thing, and she won. You know, it is very, very inspiring for all younger athletes coming through that's trying to do too much. Just stick to what you're good at, and let's just add in extras as you go, but never ever forget why you win in the first place and what makes you strong.
Well, wise words and great advice for any up and coming fighters, and this is how the progress was made through for Lauren Williams. That big win in a close match, golden pointer against Nur Tatar, top class Turkish fighter, and a big win. Paul Green there, the British team coach. Paige McPherson coming in with Juan Marino, Olympian himself and champion athlete. Chandi Kim, a decent match against Paige McPherson, but she's not had to get out of second gear just yet. And you talked, Sarah, about showing your personality. Once you've mastered the technique, then the true fighter can be seen.
Yeah, I think that for me is when you find your, I would say, your identity and, you know, who you are as a fighter. That takes experience and, for me, just so much confidence. Not about, yes, I'm going to win this and I'm going to win that, because that's not confidence. That's you having a crystal ball and trying to guess that you're going to win. It's having confidence in your body and everything that you do, and feeling like you can own and control a ring. And Lauren is, for me, she's got that confidence. She's still a little bit young, and she just needs to add that experience. And for me, then she will at some point be a lot more consistent than what she is. But for me, she's nearly there. And if anyone that comes against Lauren, I'd be pretty scared.
Well, that's some testimony from Sarah Stevenson there. Lauren Williams, the glowing reputation. Can she add some silverware? Can she get herself into the final here? Points make prizes on that trail to Tokyo, the Olympic Games. Of course, Paul Green himself, an Olympic athlete back in Athens, so he can bring that experience. Also when he coached Jay Jones, it's a couple of gold medal successes. Lauren Williams, the next young Welsh protege. What can she produce here? Paige McPherson, well, as Sarah rightly told us, a fighter for the big occasion. Likewise, Julia Georgiev from the Lebanon, Olympic referee. So this one all poised and ready to go.
Nice to see, you know, a lot more female international referees as well. So an all-female final in every sense.
Nicely done.
Not
I like
final,
that.
sorry, semi-final.
Semi-final, yeah. But it will be Williams against McPherson. Great Britain against the USA. Into that open stance straight away. Well, we know the attack was coming from Williams, and Paige McPherson did as well. On the back foot, tries a back leg counter. And it's a good aggressive start, as expected from Williams. Good punch there on the way through.
She's just so aggressive, you know, you have to be so fit to be able to deal with Lauren. But back to even Stevens then, 1-1 with the Gamjung there against Lauren.
Yeah, a little bit of holding on the inside there, but holding back to parity. A point apiece. McPherson shuffling around, trying to avoid the aggressive style. And it's not just aggression, it's good technique and a good plan with it as well.
Oh yeah, she goes with a reason, you know, and it's very aggressive, but that's the way that she fights. It's not just, you know, fight. And again, as McPherson came in, Lauren just picked a leg up there, and it's just a little bit easier for her to score.
And just on that counter as well, as you said, leaving a little space there. McPherson relying on that experience. The power punch from the American, response from Williams. But it is McPherson who extends that lead, 6-4. Not much steam on that punch though, as we creep into the halfway stage of what has been a exceptionally fast-paced first round.
Nice punch there from Lauren. Good timing, good distance. Straight into that clinch there. So very difficult for McPherson to counter. But Lauren seems to have settled down a little bit. And I think McPherson's a little bit more composed now that Lauren's got that kind of first rush out of her.
And she's got a wonderful headshot as well there. You mentioned that first rush. Well, it's a rush of blood to the head. And it is a big boot to the face. Williams scores a clean one. McPherson got a little body shot underneath and the Gamjon, so ties it up. But when you land that first headshot on your opponent, you know you've got the distance and you know you've got the score. And I think we may have a little bit of a technical, I don't think she hit it quite hard on the head. So they're just going to check that that was scoring okay. But what I was meaning was when you've got your confidence up and you land that first headshot, your opponent knows about it as well.
Yeah, I think for one, that would Lauren's confidence will go up, because you don't see that very often. You don't see a headshot hit that hard very often and make the noise. I mean, we could hear it here.
Well, we had to get the head protector
exactly.
fixed as well.
And
so
McPherson, no matter how hard she tries, her confidence will have gone down. Maybe that little break might have got her back up again.
Sure, but it is a real test. And it was a great body shot from Williams on the way through. The Gamjon for falling over. It's 12-10. And a pulsating opening salvo here. 30 seconds to go in the first round. McPherson tries with the back leg, well blocked by Williams. A 2-point gap.
I think definitely McPherson's confidence may have gone there, but hopefully the break will give her that little rest. Good option. Maybe not as hard as Lauren's punch.
Well, the Gamjon from Julius Georges-Dib. Lauren Williams asking for Paul Green to play the video replay card. He said, no chance, I'm not using it, use your skills. And she does use it to great effect, but McPherson responds at the same time. It's ebb and flow, it's a close game, and this time we see Paul Green stand to his feet and he's going to ask for a video replay here. Let's see if we can have a little listen in. So I think there from the body language looked like grabbing and then kicking, so that would have the points invalidated.
Yeah, that's correct. I think that's what Paul was asking for. But sometimes, as we see when you're watching it, you can't actually see what they're going to be protesting.
Yep, and that is the conversation that Barbara Manning is have on the microphone here. She's not ordering a taxi just yet. She's getting it all organised here. Paul Green trying to have a little listen to what the coaches are saying there. He's a very calm coach. It wasn't the case as a fighter, though. He was always
very, very active as a fighter, and I think he's definitely even calmed down a lot now as a coach as well. But he is very, very experienced. I think with these athletes now, the score is getting, the scores are coming thick and fast. Obviously when you're trying to score, sometimes your cover can take a little bit of a back step, and I think that's what's happening here with these two.
Well, tense times for coach and fighter. You could cut the tension with a knife here at the Copper Box Arena, and this will be the bone of contention on the way through here. Paige McPherson scored that 2-point shot. The referee then gave a Gamjon. So Paul Green is looking for those 2 points to be invalidated, successfully so. Good work from the coach.
Yeah, I mean, on that, definitely great work to be able to spot that. But you can see on the video replay there was no hold in there. So great call from Paul.
That even rhymes there. I like that. Great call from Paul.
Realise.
Well done. We're trying to get a rhythm here. McPherson into the last reaches of this first round. And it's been an excellent start for Lauren Williams. In terms of her confidence, that will do her the world of good.
Yeah, I think for me, to come out there to score that many points in the first round, and we'll see how Paige McPherson can deal with that, because Lauren can do that for 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds.
I was going to say weeks. I think she can just keep going.
Paige McPherson, maybe she can try and pick off the shots again as she did there. You see in the replay there, she scored 2 body shots there as Lauren came running in. Maybe Lauren Williams' cover was a little bit lapsed.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That lapse in concentration left a little gap in the cover. But it was needed for McPherson. She's kept herself in this. We can see that the physio is also a big fan of Lauren Williams. But is it the wind of change here in Taekwondo? The next generation coming through. Williams very much in the ascendancy. Plenty of Taekwondo left in this one though. Closes the gate behind her. Can she close the door on the ambitions of the highly experienced McPherson, World Championship silver medalist? Straight away starting with a big power shot.
That didn't score, but I think... oh, it did.
I think they gave the Gamjon retrospectively. So
it
was
the
15.
falling over, yeah. But again, that was a hard shot. And 2 points there for Lauren. A chop kick just missing there to the face.
Yeah, and she had a little look at Paul Green asking for the video replay card, but nothing doing. Big change and a big power punch there from Williams. The Welsh wonder lands a clacker there. McPherson responds herself. Well, we've seen Bradley Sinden advance to a Grand Prix final. What Lauren Williams wouldn't give to do just the same. Lots of time left in this one though.
I was just thinking before, I didn't know we had like a 7th and 8th gear that Lauren's just kind of gone into there. Had a little break, and I'm pretty sure gear 9 and 10's coming.
As you say, Lauren Williams in overdrive here. And she's certainly in the driving seat in this one. McPherson, well, she's caught in the traffic jam, can't get herself free, and it is Williams, flicks another one round the corner and extends that lead. Now, I'm not very good at maths, but 7 points is useful. Last minute in the second.
Trying the hooker gear there under the body. Again, a great way to score.
You can probably hear in the background shouts of Lauren, keep it going, a very popular young fighter. And she's adding to her growing reputation here. 40 seconds left into the business end of this second round here. Grand Prix final at stake. McPherson on the ropes.
I think Lauren is really controlling this last half of this round. McPherson looks a little bit unsure. Maybe she just needs a little bit of a rest. And then a great power punch there by Lauren.
And a little sneaky body shot underneath as well. McPherson, she's not out of it. She every time you think she's going to disappear, she hangs on in there. That tenacity, the trademark of McPherson. And she's into the closing stages now of the second round. Goes for the punch. Williams anticipates. And it's been a story of concentration, game plan and execution from Williams.
Yeah, great round from Williams there, dominated the whole round there. Well, I'd say definitely the last half of the round, because McPherson was in it the first half.
Well, you fought her, say that she doesn't go away.
She doesn't go away, yeah. Her legs are so long. You know, she's like a spider with a long legs.
Like tarantula with the long legs.
Coming in. She won't give up. She needs a little break, because I don't know how many people can deal with Lauren's just ferocious fitness and just, yeah, she's just so aggressive with it, but she's strong, confident and very, very intimidating. And I just hope that McPherson can come back in this third round and get some more confidence.
Yep, give her a little bit of a run, but we were actually talking off mic before it, running over your own career. I think I can count on one hand the times that you were kicked in the head, maybe on one finger. McPherson's the same, she doesn't get hit in the head. She's been smacked in the jaw twice by Williams.
Yeah, that, again, if you're not used to it, then maybe she has took a little bit of a confidence knock. Hopefully not, hopefully she can come back in this round.
Well, she comes back strongly, lands that body shot as predicted. Sarah pulls it back to 22-18. It's going to be a Gamjon for falling as well. So Williams very much in a match here, not just in terms of the scoreboard. McPherson, a redoubtable warrior, trying to get back into this one. A big power punch from Williams pulls her into the lead again. McPherson has lots of time in which to operate, and she tries to take centre ring.
McPherson is biding the time, but with Lauren you can't really take that much time to think about what you're going to do, because Lauren just takes the advantage.
And just taking advantage on the inside there, a little phantom two-pointer snuck up on the board. So instead of having a video replay from the coaches, the little corner judge trio are going to have a conversation to say that after Callio, which is to stop, it looked like the kick landed. That's our guess.
Yeah, so the kicks will get taken off. and a Gamjung.
Yes, indeed, the Gamjong could prove pivotal here. It stands at 23-21. The little conflab between the corner judges, and they were going to have now a chance to talk with Paul Green. Well, he's not confident they're going to invalidate that Gamjong, so he would play the card.
I think it's right. I think definitely try to play the card, because with 2 points in a game, it's one body shot, 2 punches, a Gamjong and a punch. It's still, that is very, very close in a match with a minute and a half to go. And, you know, you never know if Lauren goes out a little bit, as she does sometimes, very, very aggressive. Sometimes she can get picked off. To be honest, I can't really see it, but I think she's just a little bit too strong for Paige today.
Yeah, for kicking after Callio, it would be a 2-point deduction, and as Sarah Stevenson rightly says, it could be a Gamjong as well. So it could be a 3-point swing here. Paul Green straight out of his chair. Let's have a look.
The referee's arm has to be straight, and to me, that looked like it was straight.
So just to clarify, the referee has said stop.
Yeah. The referee says stop with her arm, but when her arm is straight, when she says Callio, if you kick after that, then that would be a Gamjong and the points removed. So as it looks like there, that should be the case.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. What does the video replay review panel think? Tense times for both coach and fighter. This one could be a real game changer. The momentum has been with Williams. Can McPherson get back into this one here? As they shift around, they separate, the referee moves around. Well, who would be a video review? And it is Tariq Benradi confirming that Paul Green was correct. Instincts, and again, 2 successful throws of the card from the British coach.
Yeah, very, very good there. Very well played by Paul. And, you know, unfortunate for Paige McPherson, because I think that did bring her back up into the game. But, you know, there's quite a few more points for her to get back now, and I think it could be quite difficult, but she's got it in her. She's an experienced athlete, she's an Olympic medalist, so, you know, I hope she can come back a little bit from this.
Yep, she's got the time. Has she got the tenacity? Because we know that Williams, as I've mentioned, going through the gears, she's putting on the pressure here. McPherson is most definitely up against it. A change of stance from Williams, tries with the hook round the corner, shot from McPherson. She's back in this one now. Williams, it's up to her to get on the move. And as we said, she only knows one way to go, trying to force the Gamjong there. And it's going to be one for herself.
Maybe a little bit of a Gamjong for acting there.
Yep, and I think...
I think the coach,
yep,
Juan Marino, is going to protest that and try and maybe get that overturned. So Lauren, he's going to ask for Lauren Williams to get a Gamjong for pushing.
Well, pushing it all the way here, a spot in the final. $5,000 prize as well, $3,000 for silver and $1 for the bronze. None for the commentators, though. A bit gutted about that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, isn't it?
I think we'll need to put our own little video replay in about that one, but that's one for a later date. It is now, of course, a match-defining moment here. 3-point gap. The American coach is looking for the Gamjong to be taken away from his fighter, which would pull it back to a 2-point match. Tense times.
For me, Paige has really come back there. I think the break did her the world of good, and I think this break again will be in her favour to have a little bit of a rest. So the protest by Juan Marino has been rejected, so the score stays.
As you say, and he doesn't look too happy about it. He knows that the rest was in favour of McPherson, but the score goes in favour there of Lauren Williams. Oh, she's kicked her head guard halfway down Baker Street. She's had to go and find it, and she is shook, Sarah Stevenson.
Yeah, it's not good for that to happen to anyone. But just for Lauren, it's just phenomenal. She just does not stop.
And that point makes a massive difference. The 3-point headshot pulls it into an 8-point game here. Quite a few penalty points against Williams as well. She doesn't want to get up to 10, although she would be disqualified last minute here. And Paul Green telling Lauren Williams, well, what do we think? It is attack, and she resolutely does.
Do not go back. Keep doing everything that you've been doing to get 30 points on that board.
And that punch had a little power on it, didn't score. The referee's not enjoying that one, but McPherson not enjoying this battle at all, trying to push herself back into it, gets a little score on the board. Credit to the tenacity of the American. Williams, though, battling forward.
McPherson still trying, and a great punch there from Lauren. Both hands, she can punch with both hands, which is quite rare for anybody to be able to do that.
Well, she can punch with both hands. Will she have both hands raised in victory? The semi-final is coming to a close. Almost lands the headshot. McPherson scores underneath. A 5-point game, 5 seconds left, and it is going to be a Grand Prix final for Lauren Williams. What a win over the American favourite, and the Welsh wonder puts herself into contention. And Sarah Stevenson, as you say, we had a little gap away. Lovely young family you've been raising. You're back to Taekwondo. That's a nice match to welcome you back.
You know what, Lauren is she's just phenomenal. She really, really is. You know, and anyone that comes up against her, you have really got to be fit, strong, focused. You just can't switch off. And do you know what, Paige McPherson, that was an awesome fight from her again. Just the 2 big head shots, I think, knocked her confidence, and you know, it's not nice to see anyone get the head guard kicked off like she did, someone so experienced. So, but it is just a headshot at the end of the day, and it can happen to anyone. But Lauren is she's just so strong with it as well.
So strong and so dominant. Will she prove the same in the Grand Prix final? And testament to both fighters there. They served up a real spectacle. 32-26. It'll take me another week to add what that would be in total, but a heavy scoring match. And some of the highlights here in terms of the quality, but it's the position that Williams is always in, always dominating the centre.
Yeah, she just wants to go, be in the middle. She doesn't really, well, she doesn't go back. She doesn't know how to go back, and it's not a bad thing. You know, again, like I said before, keep doing what you're doing. If she needs to start doing counters, she'll learn. You know, but right now, this is working for her, and she's got so much time to just keep learning so much more.
And speaking of time to learn so much more, they go back, have a little thought about the game plan, and they will be going up against either Mateja Jelic of Croatia or Ruth Bagby from the Ivory Coast. And of course, McPherson, well, a good effort from her, but what a shot, Sarah.
Yeah, it was a great headshot, both of the headshots, and again in the first round and then in the last round there. But Paige didn't give up. She did still keep coming, and the points were still coming as well at the end. It just shows that, you know, you should never ever stop trying to score, even against someone like Lauren, you know. So fair play to McPherson. A great match.
And speaking of great matches, Croatia against the Côte d'Ivoire, Jelic against Bagby. And this one for a spot in the final. They will know who they will go up against. And as you've seen yourself, Lauren Williams awaits there, gets a chance to go rest and recover. It's now time for the second semi-final in the women's under 67 kilogram group. Well, Mateja Jelic, that big win against Yanfeng Guao. And of course the Croatian, a relative newcomer into the scene. Ruth Bagby, though, highly experienced. Bronze medal at the Olympic Games in Rio. She fought in London 2012 back in the day, was lost 21-0 in the first round. She was a solidarity place. She got an exemption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that experience from there to Rio 4 years later with the medal, and then the World Championship title in Muju. Bagby, one to be watched.
Brilliant, very inspiring to see that, and inspiring for countries like Ivory Coast now. They are not someone to mess with. They are a force to be reckoned with. So amazing performances from Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth Bagby readying herself. Mateja Jelic, well, in terms of an athletic pedigree, just coming up through the junior ranks. What the Croat has to offer here would be a massive upset if she can generate a win. Final thoughts and preparation, encouragement from the coach. A nice little conversation with Tony earlier on.
Yes, so Tony, the coach from Croatia, he told me that Lucia and Anna, who were both highly decorated athletes from Croatia, they are twins. They are both having babies within 1 to 2 or 3 weeks apart from each other. So, you know, a very nice conversation there. Very, very pleased for them both.
Yeah, and he was very pleased to welcome you back on the scene.
They do not know what's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, twins bring double trouble. They certainly did. The Zaninovic sisters on the mat. The twin dynamos both winning the world title, and we wish them the very best in their futures. But it's back to the present here. The next Croatian star, could it be Mateja Jelic, or will it be Ruth Bagby? The fighter from the Ivory Coast in red changes into the open stance straight away, and Bagby loves to move, very good at the double kicks, but also Sarah doesn't show it too soon. She's got it all but doesn't use it all.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I really like the way that she just started the match. Very composed, love the distance, love that punch there.
Well, that one confused me. That was a punch from Bagby, and 3 points came up on the board there.
I thought that was just my eyesight, John,
no,
so I'm glad you said that.
I've got my new glasses on, Sarah, I can back you up, no question about it. That was a power punch.
Definitely the 2 points as Bagby came in there, falling onto the instep.
Both fighters, the customary feeling out process in that opening round. And there's a nice little opening there. Bagby scores. And she's got a good start. Hook kick round the corner, just missing. A gasp there from you, Sarah.
I think I ducked then with
you
both
did.
of those headshots.
You did,
because
actually.
if one of those hits, then that is going to hurt.
And the thing that's hurting at the moment for the Croat, just the 3 point gap. Can she get on the move? She's got the leg length. Has she got anything else to offer? Needs to push forward and give Bagby something to think about.
I think Mateja Jelic is a little bit static at the moment. Again, just trying to force Bagby to come in as she did there. Tried the little front leg underneath. So she's got an idea of what she wants to do. It's worked once, so she's obviously trying to do it again.
Nice little skip in turning kick there from Ruth Bagby. As you said, the Croatian has the tactics. Can she get forward as an attacking force? Very hard to counter when you're 3 points down. No need for Bagby to come forward. And she's using that composure that we mentioned into the last 10 seconds of the first round. Lovely footwork there, just drawing out the Croat, leaving her kicking fresh air. And they're going to separate and back to the end of the first round. You know yourself, Sarah, quality, technique, timing, but also the mindset.
Yeah, I think there Ruth Bagby just right at the end there, she saw an opportunity to go with the back leg, which would have been nice to see. So that just gave her a little bit of an insight of what potentially she could do in the next round. I think now she can use her faking and her movement more, draw some shots out from Jelic and try to capitalise on that. Need to see a little bit more from Jelic, I think.
Well, the tense glare there from Ruth Bagby, a champion for a reason. Won that World Championship gold in fine style in Muju in Korea just before the summer season. Now into Grand Prix number 3. She's one of the main contenders. And young Croat covering herself well here. Just a 3 point gap, far from insurmountable. Can she get on the attack straight away? Tries to change stance, tries to go with something a little bit different. Bagby sees it, switches, and gives her opponent another difficult look.
Yeah, I think this is the better stance for Bagby there, and I think she quickly realised she's safer with the right leg back there, in open stance, as we would say.
In that open stance, can the Croatian Jelic find an opening, any space? But Bagby, such a good mover, and also controlling that distance as well. The gap between the two fighters, not just 3 points, well managed.
Completely different to the match we've just seen. So it's nice to be able to see so many different competitors and different styles, and we can take a little bit of a breath in this fight.
We most certainly can, and we need to, but not taking a breath for too long was Jelic, who takes the breath away of Bagby with the headshot. 5 points apiece, and that's the confidence coming from the Croat.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to see, something, and that's what she was waiting for now. Again, like you said, you probably gained a bit of confidence from that. I think Bagby there was getting a little bit too relaxed, and Jelic took advantage with the headshot.
She most certainly did. She was too cool for school for a moment, takes a crack in the head, and she obviously has to get the black belt fixed in position. An innovative style that you used to have, you would wear it off to the one side. Was there a reason for that?
I think because when you got the knot right in the middle, it used to make your body armour stick out a little bit. It just used to annoy me, really.
Well, trying to prove a source of annoyance at the moment. Bagby into the last 30, stepping forward for the first time. There's the back leg that you mentioned, well blocked by Jelic, who's really beginning to come into her own now.
And Bagby, for me, a little bit too reactive there in the last 20 seconds that we just saw.
Well, speaking of time, we're close to the end of the second now. Jelic has done well to get back into this. Bagby still showing that patience and composure, and she's still very much in second gear, and you can guarantee she will save it up for a chip and a charge down in the third round. But for the Croatian here, Jelic making good viewing.
Yeah, good round for Jelic there. We saw her strengths coming out, you know, trying to fake with the front leg, using her right leg to find a gap, and she did. She found that gap, took the opportunity to the head, and I think Bagby needs to step it up another gear now. She's a world champion, so she needs to show that.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think she's just playing it a little bit cagey at the moment, saving her energy, trying to put a bit of pressure on. And they've had such success, the Ivory Coast, of course. Cheick Salasisi, who goes in the minus 80 kilogram division, grabbing that gold medal against Latila Mohammed. Unfortunately was injured on the way into this one, Sarah.
Yeah, he's had a really tough time. He would have loved to obviously compete here on home soil, around the corner from where he was born and bred. So he'll be here, though, I'm sure. He'll be here supporting his teammates. And
he will be back for certain. But back to the action here. Round number 3, tied up at 5 points apiece. Jelic in blue, Bagby in red. But who's going to get a chance to go for gold in this one? Into the open stance again. Bagby just taking her time, hasn't shown too much of her hand, or indeed either of her feet. And Jelic growing in confidence here.
She's been waiting to do that for quite a while. I was worried that wasn't going to score, but she's managed to force one and to find a gap, and a little bit more comfortable now, I think, Bagby.
In a comfort zone, tries with the back kick round the corner though. Does Jelic, well pushed away from Ruth Bagby in red. And the fighter from the Côte d'Ivoire go with a big power punch there. And that can be dangerous because we know Jelic has got that front leg.
I think if Bagby used the movement a little bit more, maybe try to slightly go to the side, I think the punch would work. So let's see.
Well, we've got a minute left for Matea Jelic to try and get back into this one. Still a 2-point gap, very much all to play for here. Ruth Bagby, match management, shifts round with a little left on the inside. Into the last 50 seconds now. A final at stake. Williams awaits. Who's it going to be, Bagby or Jelic?
This is where you can't survive. 2 points is nothing, so I think Bagby's still trying to be quite active. She's not switching off, she's not relaxed too much.
Well, that's not going to help though. She goes into the splits, the Gamjong.
Little Gamjong there, or big Gamjong for Bagby. You know, it's nothing now. In some cases, when it's 1 point, it might as well be level.
Yep, and I think, as you say, we may have, well, it does tie it up close now, 7-6, but we're going to have a little video replay card. Let's see if we can decipher what it's for. Are they saying that Ruth Bagby, if you put one hand on the ground, you're on the ground? You
fell, exactly. Whether he's trying to get to say it's for something else, I'm not too sure. Whether he's trying to say that she was pushed, potentially. That's the only thing I can think of. But again, in the last, round, sometimes you need to just try. Yeah. Either give yourself a break or...
Let's have a look here. Does the splits, puts one hand down?
Yeah, she does well.
That means you're on the ground. Could be, if she was on the ground, did Jelic take a swipe at her with the head kick?
Could be. When you see it there, slow motion, it could be anything, couldn't it?
Exactly. Let's stop guessing and let's wait with the rest of you. Anxious times for the coach looking up on the screen. Well, Bagby certainly puts her hand down, which means it would be a Gamjong. And the referee hadn't said Callio. It was a boot to the head from Jelic. But anyway, let's wait and see. Ruth Bagby, well, she's cool and calm, and she's going to have to be. This is a 1-point game, and it is indeed invalidated.
I think we can overcomplicate things sometimes, you know, you're trying to guess, but she fell on the floor and it's a gam jump, that's the rules.
Love it. Straight to the point, and it is the point that makes the difference. Jelic still has some time here. Grand Prix final in the offing. Can the Croatian find a way back in? Front leg almost scoring. Good counter from Bagby. Headshot sneaks over the shoulder. There's a fighter from the Ivory Coast. Lauren Williams of Great Britain awaits. Who's it going to be? The Croatian trying to force for the golden point score, but going for golden glory. It's the match management of Bagby. Unless the Gamjon, no, it's not been given. Thought the referee was going to go for it there, but as you say, Sarah, we can overcomplicate it sometimes.
Yep.
But that one, professional, not at her 100%.
I think so. I think neither athlete were at 100%. It seemed to me that Jelic left it far too late, and for me, she could have won that fight. So it could have gone either way. I think maybe, did she have the confidence? I mean, I don't, like you said, John, she's quite relatively new, so I don't really know her or her style, or so there's a possibility that she didn't have a lot of confidence coming in. If you're not, you know, you haven't got that confidence, you're coming up against a world champion. Maybe in the last round she found it and it's a little bit too late.
Well, they talk about too little too late. The first real headshot thrown with 10 seconds left, and it's easy to sit in the commentary position, but if Jelic is reviewing this afterwards, a little bit of a faster start could have caused some pressure, but in the end, the champion is the top of the world for a reason, and Bagby professional to the end. Well, a change of pace and category now, up into the heavyweight men's division. Russia against Great Britain, and Iran against Korea. Rafael Aikaev against Mahamacho. And here comes Aikaev on the way in. Ranked number 32 in the world, the Russian, a relative newcomer in this one. Rada Isaev, well, he overcame him in the selections to get through. A couple of big wins there, notably against Niger, the Olympic champion, so he's on form. But up against the home favourite, Mahamacho there, just outside the medals in the Olympic Games in Rio, but put that right with a silver medal in the World Championships. And a big chance for him now, Sarah. Won the gold medal at the last Grand Prix in Morocco. Can he do it again?
He definitely can do it again. Cho is really, he's training hard, he's on form, you know, he's very, very excited to be here on home soil again, you know, born and bred in London. His parents are here, his little brother's here, and I know he's so proud to be here, and he'll enjoy this moment. But again, when you're fighting someone that's relatively unknown, that can be almost as daunting as fighting an Olympic champion.
It can indeed, Sarah. Daunting occasion, big moment. A nice little moment for Jake Morgan there, the little volunteer on the way through there with the Russian, showing him some love. And speaking of love, in the dojang, husband Stephen Jennings there, had a little chat with him about this match on the way through, thoughts and their preparations for this one.
Yeah, there he is, the hubby. Yeah, he was watching the Russian play Aikaev previously in his quarter-final match. Yeah, not overly worried, but again, when someone's quite new, quite excited, they've got nothing to lose, so you never know.
Well, we will find out soon. Jose Eduardo Cornelio from Aruba gets to run the rule over this one. I wish they would have a competition in Aruba
Yes,
coming up.
they did once, but we never went.
No, the budget wouldn't extend
That's
to
it.
a beach-based fight-off, but it is a fight-off here in the copper box. And this one for a spot in the final. Muhammad Cho coming into this one on form, won the Grand Prix in Moscow. Can he repeat the feat here in his home city of London? Ikaev, the taller of the two, and he's got those long legs, overcame the Olympic champion from Niger earlier in the day, so he's got that confidence as both men go into the open stance. And Muhammad Cho in red just taking his time. You don't want to walk into that front leg. The front leg, of course, the leg closest to the opponent, and it's a close one so far. 30 seconds gone, more or less, and no competitive action. Push kick from Cho, gets close.
Very good cover there from IKF. I think Cho Muhammad is just trying to find what's working. And the first thing for me is that IKF has very, very good cover. So difficult to score on. As always, though, from many Russian players.
No, you're right. I was talking about that. To actually get a chance to compete here, he had to overcome the Russian favourite on the way into it to get selected. So they've got that same style. And not turning on the style just yet. Muhammad Cho being patient, taking his time. And it's been a bit of a stalemate so far. You always get that in the opening round. Attempted headshot, and just flicking past.
IKF has a very, very unique style. We saw in his quarter-final match how he can stand pretty much with his feet together. It's difficult and rare. But quite clearly waiting to react.
Well, you know who he actually reminds me of? Nur Tatar in a way. Nur
Yeah.
Tatar just stands there, picks up the leg, and of course couldn't pick up the win against Lauren Williams, who's into the final, but picking up the Gamjon.
Yeah, a low shot there from IKF.
Too low on Cho.
Too low on Cho. You need to stop with the rhyming now.
No, that's it. Well, I thought I'd match up with you, but he's got the style, he's got the substance, he's got the point on the board as well. And an attacking threat, neither have went for it. Back kick round the corner from Muhammad Cho to close proceedings on what's been a very tight first round. If they're making a highlight DVD of the competition, that will not be in it for sure. But Muhammad Cho couldn't care less. He's got that point.
Yeah, I think just having that little bit of an edge will give you that confidence going into the second round. They were both kind of feeling each other out, seeing what's going to work, and now they'll go back to their expert coaches and figure out a plan of what they're going to do.
I like that little expert coaches plug there. That was good.
Yeah, for both. I'm not biased.
You have every right to be. Muhammad Cho just stretching out here. Can he stretch his advantage? 1 point. Not a very comfortable cushion, and that doesn't look like a very comfortable place to sit. And it's not comfortable reading either, because the Russian very much in this one. But they're having a real old chat there, Sarah.
Yeah, Cho looks really relaxed there, but that's the way Steve, my husband, coaches, quite calm, quite relaxed, quite clear, and they seem to bond really well with that style.
Well, the first round, not much to report in terms of competitive action. Now Ikaev has to come forward, has to try and look for a headshot. Always on the counter though, the big man in blue. And Muhammad Cho wisely keeping that distance, just leaning back. There's a good power punch though from the Russian. Read it nicely, landed it cleanly. And now we've got a bit of a game on our hands.
Unexpected, which is good. That's what you want. A nice punch there. Did not expect him to come out with that.
Yeah, caught unawares, caught off guard, and plops the punch onto the body protector of Cho. Gets himself back into this one. It hasn't really taken light just yet. The heavyweight men, it just bubbles away, and eventually, when it's required, the big power shots come. Back leg turning kick just missing. You mentioned the cover of the Russian, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you can hear it, but it's not a point. It's his arms. So, yeah, very, very difficult to score on. But as I know, I do know, and we've all seen it before, that Cho does have another level, and he can do some really great techniques, a lot of combinations like the smaller weights. So he might need to pull something out of the bag.
Yep, and just speaking of pulling one out of the bag, tried to pull up a reverse turning kick there, threw his hand up in the air, and I think it caught Ikaev in the eyeball. Yep, looks like it. Well, he's obviously going to need a little bit of attention here to see a bit clearly after that, but what we can see clearly so far, nothing to separate them.
Yeah, nothing at all. Too close for comfort, I think, for both athletes.
And showing some discomfort. He's fit to continue. A finger in the eyeball. Yeah, there it was, the reverse turning kick. A little slap in the head, unintentional, but it still stings nonetheless. I'm not sure the Gamjon is fair there, but certainly given.
Yeah, definitely accidental, but again, at that one, I suppose, is the ref's discretion. It did hit him in the face with his hand, so...
Yep, fair enough. And it makes fair viewing now for the Russian. No scoring shots yet. That left-handed punch there from Mohamed Cho, not much power on it. Threw it a little bit wide. IKF saw it coming. And not too much steam on that shot. Last 30 seconds in a second round. It hasn't really taken off yet. Both men happy to just keep it close. Back leg turning kick, boots Cho to the ground. And that's going to be the Gamjon for falling. Back kick round the corner, close one there.
Yeah, he's really making this difficult for Mohamed Cho. Good cover, very, very composed, difficult to score on. Cho is going to have to find that extra gear, and he has there. He's got the spin kicks, he's got the 3 points with the spin right at the end there, taking him into the lead, going into the last round. It's all to play for now.
Well, a real stalemate of a match. That's the first technique that's actually scored. Everything else has been by way of deductions, and it's this little back kick come reverse round the corner, which he used for the knockout in Moscow against the heavyweight teammate, so IKF will know about that one, and he knows all about it now. 4-3, all to play for in this one.
The extra gear is going to have to come out now. What else can Cho Mohamed do? You know, I think IKF being quite young, maybe he hasn't got a lot of techniques in his bag yet, but what he can do is very, very good and very strong. For me, looking at this, Cho Mohamed has a little bit more skill set, so he's got something else he can use to figure it out, which again, like I said before, it is always a risk. If you try to open up, try something different, you are then open to get scored against.
No, I agree with you on that one. The physicality will take you so far, but it's the skills that pay the bills. But at the moment, into the open stance, not much to separate them. Mohamed Cho changes to avoid the reach there of IKF. The front leg popping out now from the Russian. Response from Mohamed Cho. This one beginning to boil into a fight now. Open stance, and it's all open for a shot in the Grand Prix final. IKF one paced. Mohamed Cho beginning to step it up here. Back leg turning kick, well blocked again. A little glimmer on the scoreboard, but not enough power to score. Chop kick turns to a spin, and Cho, as you mentioned, Sarah, that repertoire beginning to turn up the heat a little bit.
Yeah, he has to keep doing something to make it happen. He can't stand still for too long, because IKF has that kind of sneaky reaction straight off the spot, and with his long legs as well, you've got to be careful of the distance. I think both athletes are aware, though, that Cho Mohamed is going to spin.
Yeah, he's got that spin in his locker, he's got the quality. The headshot attempt there from the big Russian. He tries to score round the back. There's the back leg turning kick this time. They have all the skills, but it's just the time at which you use them. As we move into the last round here. No Gamjon. Could have thought about it, the referee.
Very tense. Good option there for Cho, and a point as well. Excellent shot there.
And a big power punch from Mohamed Cho pulls him into the lead now. Tries to go for it again, almost eats a head kick on the way through. And when you're weighing upwards of 100 kilos, that's a knockout shot, so it does well to ride it. Slips back off the guard. IKF tries to score with a body shot underneath. The jumping twist there from Mohamed Cho. It was a twist, but no shout. Is he in with a shout with a reverse turning kick? Misses by a whisker.
And a Gamjon for your efforts, but you know, that could have been 4 points, so sometimes you have to take the risks.
Well, took the risk, didn't get the reward. Tries it again this time. Hook kick round the corner. Ikev just looking for one shot. Can he find a gap under the guard of Cho? Into the last seconds here. Mohamed Cho leaves the gap, leaves our space, takes a gamjon as well. And how quickly fortunes can turn here. The Russian has sped into the lead. Back kick needed from Cho. Kicks low. He's going to get the gamjon for falling. It's going from bad to worse for the Brit here. 3-point gap. Needs a big headshot. Mohamed Cho steps through. Good block from Ikev. And the Russian escapes into the London evening and into the Grand Prix final. Manages a grin at the end. Mohamed Cho was professional, was organised, but at the end had his pocket picked.
He was just very, very difficult, very tough to score on, and made it really hard for Mohamed Cho. Unfortunately, we won't see another Brit in the final, but still, third place on home soil.
Yep, more than good consolation. Third place on home soil. And the $1,000 prize for the third place. But this big man here going for the $5,000 bonus. And plus those ranking points on the road to Tokyo. Mohamed Cho had it done. Had it in his pocket. But Rafael Ikev snuck in unbeknownst to him. Picked his pocket. And escapes into that final. Credit to him. He's beaten the Olympic champion. He's beaten the world silver medalist. He's going to take some stopping in the final. Men's heavyweight semi-final number 1 in the books. And it will be Iran against Korea in just a few moments. Well, as you can see, Iran against Korea, Sajid Mardani against Inkyodon. And waiting for them will be Rafael Ikev. Mohamed Cho vested by the Russian. Will it be the Iranian or the Korean en route into this Grand Prix final? Well, the last semi-final disappointing in terms of the result for the Brits, but also in terms of the explosive action. Sajid Mardani, well, he won't care what it looks like, just wants to get it done. 9th at the Olympic Games in Rio, 5th at the Worlds, where he lost to Mohamed Cho. He just lost to Ikev and Inkyodon. Well, a silver and a bronze at the last 2 Grand Prix. That's the best that he's managed to produce. A bronze in his home competition. But he's been home and hosed, an easy win against Kazakhstan, so he's fresh. Had a little chat with him before going through. Feels confident. Sajid Mardani, physically it's a better size up for him. Ikev, much taller. These guys, much of a muchness.
Yeah, I think Inkyodon is a middleweight as well. So they're usually a little bit smaller, but can be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit faster. But you've got to be able to deal with just the pure strength of, like, as you said, like 100 kilo plus person when you're fighting in -8 to 7, which, you know, is in the semi-final, so we must be doing a good job.
Can he extend that good run into this and push for a spot in the final? Of course, there's the electronic sensors inside the head guard and on the body protector, and the little sensor socks. Well, if you get good contact and impact, they will score. If you're totally new to Taekwondo, it's great to have you with us. If you're an expert, you could be fighting over the next couple of days. Best of luck to you. And I'm sure the British fighters who will be going over the next couple of days, the protocol would be to go back and have a rest. They're not going to hang around here, and for the finals they'll be back resting up.
Yeah, it depends which day they're fighting on. I'm assuming everyone that's fighting tomorrow would probably be back relaxing in their room, listening to us on the red button. So a shout out to all those fighting tomorrow. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, sentiment shared here, and lovely sentiment shared there between the two rival nations. It's always the pleasantries, the pageantries, but it gives way to the punching and the kicking. They shake hands, they show their respect, and then they batter each other up and down the ring. Mardani against Inkyodon. This the heavyweight semi-final number 2 of Grand Prix Series number 3. Open stance straight away. Mardani in blue. Well, you can work out for yourself what colour Inkyodon is wearing. Is he going to be wearing a gold at the end of this one? And it's a sizable feat to get past Mardani. Takes the centre ring, the Iranian. And you mentioned Inkyodon fighting at 87, that middleweight style. He is much smaller in terms of reach. Takes a headshot on the way through there, and he's caught in the headlights and in the face.
He stood still too long. At first he started to look a little bit composed. He was moving a little bit. He just stood still for far too long, and Mardani took advantage, and rightly so.
Yep, that advantage turns into a 3-pointer. Inkyodon tried to fire forward with a punch, but left a space, and the clock is ticking. And Mardani, well, he's looking composed now. Took a bit of a beating against Muhammad Cho in the World Championship quarter-final. Of course, Cho down and out in that other semi. Akeyev, the Russian, waits for one of these two men. And waiting for that front leg. Inkyodon a little bit low with it. And into the latter stages of the first round.
Good effort. Good reaction there with the front leg from Inkyodon. I think for me, the Iranian has some good faking, but it's a little bit unrealistic. He needs to do a little bit more realistic to make something happen. Just like that.
Indeed. Trying to score with a big back leg, but it's the head fake, the shoulder shimmy, trying to confuse Inkyodon. But the Korean not buying it just yet. There's a good power punch there from Mardani, unlucky not to score. As we creep towards the end of the first round. This one a little bit more aggressive in terms of Mardani, and Inkyodon, well, he's going to have to retreat. Standing stock still at the end. But the scoreboard, well, it reads well for the Iranian. And of course, Sarah, in terms of the style of the Iranian national team, typically very good match fighters, are very composed under pressure.
Yeah, definitely. They've been consistent for so many years on a world and Olympic level. They have that confidence and that aura about them. I'm from Iran, and this is our culture, this is the way we fight. They've got that confidence from so many past world and Olympic champions. So,
speaking of which, world champion in the coaching corner, that always helps. Mohammad Reza, world champion back in 2003, giving out the coaching advice here. Can Mardani convert? 3 points up. Inkyodon, not much that we saw from the Korean, very one-paced at the moment. Can he turn on the style? It is a long old day here when you're fighting, in early in the morning, fighting late into the evening. Need to freshen it up, get some energy going from the Korean in red. But at the moment, Mardani is the man in the middle. Open stance to start, flicks it up to the headshot. Well, it worked in the first round.
Taking control of the match right from the start there, Mardani. Good to see. He's making Inkyodon re-engage, switch on, has to start moving a little bit more, and he's forcing him to do that.
A little dance move there, I like that little fake.
I like that. He must have heard me say you need to fake more realistic, and then able to take a shot. Unfortunately, the high section missed, but it was there and it was an option. I think he'll listen to me again now. I think
he'd be well advised to say it. Certainly listening to his coach, as we mentioned, world champion in the corner. Can Mardani become Grand Prix champion here? Hasn't managed it so far. Had a bronze medal in Moscow and in Morocco. Can he go one better here and get into the final? Inkyodon, well, I think someone should text him and let him know that the fight has started, because he hasn't come out of the traps at all yet. A slow start from the man in red, and he's paying for it. Last minute in the second.
Since the headshot, there's been no kind of realistic points being scored or any kind of action to make you think like someone's going to make something happen. Mardani is trying to force a reaction, but no more points on the board.
Yep, nothing doing, nothing changing. Inkyodon trying to let the legs go a little bit here. Mardani intimidating with his physical presence, using that front leg as a jab. Giving Inkyodon problems, tries to slip round the corner with the left leg there, the Korean. A bit more variety, but a change of tactics, but not a change of score. Mardani, professional and closing this one down. Okay, let's break with protocol. There's a point at which you have to say that is a boring match. Let's not try and dance around it anymore. It's not that the athletes are here to entertain, they're here to win, but nothing happening from Inkyodon.
Yeah, nothing from him, and I feel a little bit sorry for Mardani. He's trying to make something happen. He's forcing a few fakes, going into the distance a little bit, and then when he's kicking, he's getting too close, so his distance is off. And Inkyodon just isn't doing anything to help the situation, which is fair enough for him, but
I don't think he even needed to add to help the situation. I think he's just not doing anything. I know that the kid well, I know his coach well, and he had a game plan coming into it, but maybe saving it up here. We've seen before the ability to come from behind and pull themselves into it, so it's only a 3-point gap as we go into the third and final round. Mardani against Inkyodon. This completes the semi-finals, which leaves us with 3 finals to go here. Faking again, looking for options. Inkyodon tries with a back leg turning kick. Well, is he going to get a Gamjon against him there, Mardani? He is indeed. The low leg block. 2-point gap now.
And very painful, I might add. It's not very nice to kick someone's shin.
It takes a lot of pain to be a champion, to get through. It's a full contact sport, of course. And you volley somebody in the shin, it certainly stings. There's another low kick there on the way through. As we talked about the match management of the Iranians. Just knobbling with the knees there, Inkyodon.
Mardani, the options are there. It's just the distance. And maybe that's Inkyodon's game plan. Maybe he's trying to play with the distance a little bit, make it difficult, but you've got to capitalise.
Tries to capitalise that time, you're right, Sarah. Capitalises with a little body shot underneath. So patience pays off for Inkyodon. 3 points apiece. Creeping towards the last minute. There's a nice body shot there from Mardani. Scores. Pulls himself into the lead. The man from Tehran has the lead.
And that was the distance. That's what he was trying to do in the first 2 rounds, and he got it right when it was needed.
Well, the game plan paying off so far for Sajid Mardani. Inkyodon on the back foot, tries the back leg turning kick. Both men deciding to have a bit of a fight for it now. Saved up their energy. Trying to cash in. There's a good body shot underneath from Inkyodon. Are we going to see a golden point round? Last 25. Well, the final awaits. The bird's eye view for you here at the Copper Box. This is what the fighters see. The distance between the two can't be separated. There's the headshot over the shoulder. Inkyodon does well to block. Likewise, Mardani. And we said perhaps golden score. And it's definitely going to be golden point now. Inkyodon limps away. Mardani, likewise. Who's going to take this one? I'm not going to ask you for a prediction, Sarah. That's not fair.
It's very tough. Very, very tough. I think at the end there, Inkyodon, for me, blocked with his leg. The referee didn't see it. So, for me, he should have got a Gamjung there, which would have mean Mardani would be the winner. But sometimes the referees don't always see everything. You know, they're not magicians.
That's it. And who can produce a moment of magic now to get into the final? Well, it's been the escape artist Inkyodon. He was down and out. Lost that headshot straight away, but pulled it back to 5 points apiece. Next point's the winner. Contrast of passion and patience. The Iranian coach screaming at Mardani to get going here. 1 minute to go for the golden score. Inkyodon looking for the gap. Trying to lean back the Korean, presenting a small target. And this one, well, it's coming right down to the wire. Do you go, do you stick, do you twist, power punch or power shot? Both men bobbing and weaving. Nothing to report so far.
And 2 gamjungs allowed as well in sudden death, which is a great rule. I love that rule.
Yep, fairness observed, just to make sure you don't get disqualified in the golden point round. If no one scores as well, it's who has kicked the protector the most. And so far, well, you can add that up for yourself, because no one has. Nothing doing into the last 15 seconds. They've stood and looked at each other for long enough. Inkyodon trying to draw the front leg out. Back leg turning kick almost scores. Well blocked by Sajid Mardani, who has kicked the body protector twice. Will that be enough to take him through to the Grand Prix final? Well, Mardani and Inkyodon leaving it in the hands of the electronic protector, and it was Inkyodon who had kicked the body protector twice, and Mardani is gutted, none more so than his coach. Too patient there.
Yeah, well, that's been the theme of the whole 4 rounds, really, isn't it? Not making anything happen, making your life difficult. You've got to take a risk. This is what this sport's about. And for me, neither athlete took enough risks to make it easier for themselves.
Well, will it be easy for them in the final? IKF of Russia awaits, and Inkyodon, well, he's limping out quite slowly there. Perhaps that contributed to the real stalemate, but probably the least said about that fight, the better, especially for Sajid Mardani. He thought he'd done enough there in the golden score, but in the end it's Inkyodon who will move on to the final, and that will be on the way after the men's 68 and women's 67s, which are just about to follow. Well, the final's on the way. They've built the way all the way through the medal matches, and it is time now to go for gold, to go for glory, and to go for the cash prizes. It will be Bradley Sinden against Alexei Denisenko, Britain against Russia. Lauren Williams will also move on, and she will go against Ruth Bagby. Inkyodon, who we've just seen limp through that limp semi-final against Rafael Akayev. 3 finals back to back, and there's the first one for you. Doncaster Sinden, well, that's how he advanced. And Abagosh, well, the Olympic champion, presenting a big target here. And a healthy little crowd here in the Copper Box Arena. So the men's under 68 kilogram final. The fighters are ready to go. Bradley Sinden, the up-and-coming British fighter, against Ahmad Abagosh, Olympic champion. Well, this one about tenacity and attitude against aptitude and experience. Can Sinden go the distance here? Big match set up here, Sarah.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, let's hope it'll be a great match. But, you know, I love both these players. You know, I'm really, really excited to see this match. You know, Bradley's up and coming. Nothing phases him. Alexei Denisenko is just so experienced. I always love watching him fight. So I am looking forward to this final. Yep, should be an absolute classic. And we spoke earlier on, Sinden defeating McNish, his teammate Zhao Dashab, world number 1, Gonzalez Bonilla, the top man as well.
Abagosh, the Olympic champion. So he comes in with the pedigree and the quality. A couple of wins. That close one against Alexei Denisenko in the last seconds. So he's had a tough day at the office, his Abagosh. But will the Jordanian be jumping for joy at the end of this one? He's going to have to upset the home favourite, Bradley Sinden. And he's full of attitude. He was in the commentary box with us yesterday, running the rule over the para Taekwondo. Very insightful, very hard working. Is that going to pay off here? Serge Sambona making sure the electronic protector is working, and Martin Stamper giving the final instructions.
Yeah, this is a great moment for Martin as well. You know, well, not so much new to the coaching, but been doing it for a while now, getting the experience along with Bradley. So for me, he's on a journey with his athletes now, and his athletes are doing really, really well. So for me, a great team, great coach, a great moment.
Well, such moments can make or break a career here. Big chance now for Bradley Sinden to step up onto the big occasion. Tariq Benradi, the man from Morocco, in the middle. And Sinden, Doncaster's finest. I wonder if Gary Sykes is watching back home.
I hope so. My old coach, yeah. Bradley used to train there sometimes, but from King's Taekwondo, but did come and train with us as well at All Stars.
Yep, and will he be the shining star in this one? Who's going to shine the brightest? Here in the copper box, we're in the shadows of the Olympic Stadium in London. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to the final. The men's under 68 kilogram battle. Sinden pushing forward. Abagosh goes with the front leg up to the face. Both men not waiting too long to introduce themselves to each other. Good back kick there from Abagosh, almost scoring.
Yeah, great option there by Abagosh. Luckily for Bradley, Sinden, no points, but something now to be wary of.
Good cover from Abagosh, giving Sinden plenty to think about, but the concentration guaranteed from the youngster in blue, the British fighter, trying to go to a career best title here. Won the Junior Europeans in 2015, world bronze this year. Can he grab the big gold here in London? Started well, Abagosh though, a top class target.
Bradley there trying for the headshot, and Abagosh taking that spin, knowing that Bradley Sinden's going to go high, but both players were ready for it. Both players had good cover.
Covering a bit of distance there, Abagosh trying to use that push. Sinden gives him a taste of his own medicine here. It's a battle for territory, trying to get that distance to close between the two of them. Well, we've seen Sinden's headshots against Joel Gonzalez. What he wouldn't give for one here against Olympic champion Abagosh. Well, a predictable stalemate here. 20 seconds left in the first. Neither wanting to commit to make a mistake. And it takes a lot of patience and a lot of bottle to stand there and eyeball the Olympic champion. Well, we reach the dying embers of the first round. Nothing doing on the scoreboard, but plenty of intel gathered by Sinden.
Very, very composed. I think, you know, he's very, very focused. He's switched on. They're both switched on. They're both ready for this match. Martin Stamper there, telling Sinden to fake more, try and draw something out of Abagosh, trying to draw the spin out and to commit more with his shots, and being very, very
trying to motivate him, encourage him here.
Get your legs up quicker or shift out twice.
Well, clear coaching instructions. Can he execute? And he's going up against Ahmad Abagosh. He's back on form now, the Jordanian, after that Olympic title. Well, as I'm sure Jay Jones would tell you, it's hard to get the motivation back up there. Took a little dip in form, the Jordanian, but back in business now. And back in the final here. Sinden on the front foot. Abagosh likewise.
Bradley trying to do what his coach Martin Stamper told him to do, trying to move to the side, draw something out, to then hopefully find a gap.
But no gaps so far. Abagosh gets the guard up, and the Jordanian just shuffling around, likes to create different angles, goes with the spin. That was the coaching advice there from Stamper.
Yeah, good option by Bradley, but he was a little bit too far away and unable to react safely, which is good. He's aware of his distance, he's aware that, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. If in doubt, leave it.
Sound advice, and both men heeding that at the moment. Nothing doing on the scoreboard. A tense affair. Tries with the headshot. Abagosh shakes his head, goes with the back stick. Well blocked there from Sinden. Gets the arm down, sees it coming, and I think we're going to have some sort of technical intermission here.
There's a very, very strong back kick there by Abagosh. Great timing. Again, nice technical ability there. It's good to see.
Yep, he's got all the skills, but hasn't shown the full will yet to go forward. And it's patience from both as they get the batteries checked in the body protector. I think you've just spotted there Martin Stamper's.
No, we have one of our junior athletes there, Tegan Painter there. She went to the Cadet Europeans and is also on the junior GB junior squad as well. So nice to see the younger athletes being here and watching the experienced ones at play.
Yep, front row seats there, studying away, but not much to do in terms of scores on the board. No Gamjons, no points, but big prizes at stake. Grand Prix final. We're into the last 40 seconds of this second round. Abagosh trying to hold the centre of the mat. Sinden faking, trying to draw out an option here. Patience a virtue, but will it pay off? Neither man committing. Tries for the headshot. Looking for the Gamjon. Sinden did well to stay in there. There's the shot underneath this time. Power punch from Abagosh. Shot from Sinden. And he's got a shot at glory now.
And Bradley's so good at staying in the ring. You know, he just looks so relaxed wherever he's standing. And he just waited and bided his time. Didn't feel pressure being on the edge of the ring and just took that 2 points there to the body. Great by both athletes there at the end though, to be fair. Nice punch. Nice shot under the guard there by Bradley.
Yeah, and he's pulled himself into this Grand Prix final. The tactical advice paid off so far. We're into the business end now. The third and final round awaits. Let's have a little listen. Well, a shake of the head from Abagosh. Not just because that didn't score, but because he is a point down here in this final. The youngster Bradley Sinden, the Brit in blue, trying to go for it. Can he put the pressure on a little bit more? Leaning back in the back foot, fires out the front foot. Abagosh blocking resolutely. Good balance there from Bradley Sinden, and this one is very much in the balance itself. Grand Prix gold at stake.
I think Bradley Sinden just waiting there, waiting to take the shot underneath. And he's doing it well. He's relaxed, he's composed, he's ready for the spin, he's covering.
Taking his time, but Abagosh beginning to turn up the intensity here, trying to use the front leg. Sinden responding. Outclash him, the advice from Martin Stamper, which means to clash the leg and fire again, just as he does there. He hasn't been outclassed, but there's a hook kick round the corner from Abagosh, showing his quality now. What has Sinden got in response?
Excellent option there by Abagosh. Switching the legs, changing stance, going underneath with a hook kick. Great point there.
Well, will points make prizes here? Olympic champion Ahmad Abagosh, 1 point up against the local favourite Bradley Sinden, Doncaster's finest, trying to get a bit of a wriggle on here, tries to push forward, goes for the Gamjon, gets the headshot over the shoulder there, and it is Sinden up against the Olympic champion Sarah Stevenson. 5-3 to the good.
You know what, when it needs to happen, he's pulled something out of the bag there. They've both got something extra. And he's just drawn it back there, Abagosh. 5-5.
Well, massive tension here. Olympic champion in red, local British favourite in blue. Abagosh against Sinden, 5 points apiece. Golden score awaiting. Who can get golden glory? Sinden checks the scoreboard. The clock is ticking. One shot would do it. Or will they go for the golden score? Sinden fakes. Abagosh slides. And it will be the golden score. 5 apiece. He's pushing the Olympic champion to the limit.
He is. He's doing really, really well. He's very, very composed. The way Bradley is in the ring is the way he is outside the ring.
Yeah, Bradley Sinden, very cool. Like a penguin eating an ice cream. Sinden, too cool for school, and he's, well, the coach obviously a big fan of him as well. Martin Stamper, lots of good advice in this one. Is it toss of a coin? Do you decide? Go, stick?
To be honest, as an athlete myself, I wasn't a fan of sudden death of Golden Point. I don't think anyone is. Who wants to do Golden Point?
It's like a penalty shootout in the World Cup. It's toss of a coin. It's a thing that you can't really practice, the big occasion. And will the experience of Abagosh be enough to see him over the line here? Well, here we go. Golden score. Bradley Sinden of Great Britain against Ahmad Abagosh, Olympic champion in red, up-and-coming British fighter in blue. 1 point will seal the deal here. Abagosh pushing forward. Sinden calm and composed. First to score will be the champion. Front leg shot there, well blocked by Abagosh. And it's a mistake there in terms of the fall. It will be the Gamjon. But as you rightly said, Sarah,
great option though. He took a risk and fell, but that could have been a point. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to commit at Golden Point.
And speaking of commitment, tries to go with the big headshot over the shoulder. Change of stance there from Abagosh, Olympic champion, trying to show his quality, drawing out Sinden, but the calmness and composure of the British fighter in blue. He needs a power shot. Can he find the punch? Last 20 seconds. Abagosh changes. Can Sinden change the career path that he's on here? Looking for the golden score. Great block there from Sinden. Into the last 10 seconds. Abagosh slipping and sliding. Looking for the power punch. The shot underneath the guard there. Is it going to go to the referee's decision? The shot in the last second by Ahmad Abagosh. You said it was the right option, Sarah Stevenson. The Olympic champion finds a way to get it done. Silver for Sinden, gold for Abagosh, the champ.
Yeah, Abagosh took that round. He did take everything to Bradley there, and he deserved that round there at the end. He's going to ask for a Gamjung, but for me it looked like he kicked and then fell. Scored and then fell, so...
Well, there's no question about that.
But when they slow it down, who knows?
Yeah, Martin Stamper deciding to throw the card in. Well, no guts, no glory. That was the shot there. Was the hand on the ground as he kicked? Well, let's wait and see. Let's look for a better angle. Look for the hand. No, the foot scores, then the hand. Clean as you like. Martin Stamper right to throw the card, but probably the right decision. Well, it may just be more in hope than expectation. Worth a punt. But the reward, well, it certainly seems, from our vantage point, to have gone to the Olympic champion. Let's not prejudge it. We never know.
Yeah, good coaching by Martin Stamper. You have to try. You have to try right at the end. Never give up, whether that being the coach or the athlete.
Well, the Moroccan coach is certainly happy with his athlete. And it is indeed confirmation there. A good chance for Bradley Sinden to get some experience, but it's the Olympic champion that emerges victorious. Top class from Sinden, and it is Ahmad Abagosh who takes to his knees. Final prayer of success, but silver for Sinden, and he was quality.
He was. Abagosh, just that last round for me was the reason why he is Olympic champion. And you can't take anything away from Bradley, because sudden death, anything can happen, but he did take that round. He didn't survive. He tried to make something happen, and he was willing to risk his own loss by trying to score. So very inspirational there by Abagosh. But Bradley Sinden, you know, he's well up there. He can mix it with the best in the world, and he's only just starting.
We'll talk about victories today. I mean, Joel Gonzalez overcame him. Olympic medalist, top-class fighter, Denisenko as well. Sinden getting the just rewards and a nice ovation from the home crowd, but Abagosh, well, he got it right, Sarah. You called it. You said it was a good option, and he did it twice.
He did, and I didn't think that he would do something like that again, because what are the chances of you kicking and scoring before you've actually touched the ground? But he must practice this all the time, which is obviously
a massive risk as well, though, because if that
huge
doesn't
risk.
land, it's 2 Gamjones. It's not
exactly,
from silver to gold for Sinden. So
yeah, so very inspirational by Abagosh. Trying that, for me, just for anyone watching, anyone that doesn't like sudden death, that's the way to play sudden death. Unfortunately for Bradley, you know, sad to say, you know, but we're all very proud of him. Everyone from Great Britain is so proud of Bradley. He is like the local hero for everybody, and he's come through the pathway system as well.
Well, a quality effort from Abagosh on the way through. And it will be the women's 67 kilogram final contest. Lauren Williams and Ruth Bagby. That will be the next bit of entertainment for you. Well, we saw British interest in the last final. Can Lauren Williams overcome the world champion Ruth Bagby from the Ivory Coast? That won the next competitive action. And of course, that will be preceded by the awarding ceremony for the athletes. They will receive their just rewards in just a couple of moments. So stick with us, the final in the offing, and it is the rewards for that action. And it's just getting ready to happen. President of the World Governing Body, Dr. Chung Won Cho, flanked by Steve Flynn. In charge of British Taekwondo, Ahmad Abagosh, just off the towels himself down. Well, sweat soaked, but he is not going back with silver. It is gold to repeat that feat that he took in Rio. But Bradley Sinden emerging as a real star in this one. Alexei Denisenko would have come in with great expectations, as all 4 men make the last steps back to the centre of the podium to receive their rewards. That's a nice feeling, Sarah. You've done all the work, and now you get your rewards.
Yeah, it is. And you know what, when Bradley's walking past there, I almost feel like a big sister. You know, I really feel really proud of him. You know, I am very patriotic to where I'm from, and I know Bradley is as well. So, you know, I do feel really sad for him now, but also very, very proud of him as well. He showed great composure. He was great fighting spirit. Everything that Taekwondo is about, Bradley has, and he showed that today. But at the end, Abagosh was just too good in that last round of sudden death.
Yeah, no question about it. Top class performance as Alexei Denisenko makes his way forward. He will receive his bronze medal and $1,000 cheque as well. Richly deserved for all of his efforts there. A little commemorative gift to boot. And he tried to boot his way into the final, but Abagosh was too good in that semi, too good in the final as well, as you said, Sarah. But he cashes in as Gonzalez Bonilla steps forward to get his bronze medal as well.
And this is Bradley's first cash win as well, so, you know, not too bad.
I'm sure he'll be buying the coffees tomorrow. Yeah. I'm sure you'll insist on that.
I definitely will. Flat white, please.
Get the orders in early. But right on order, a nice ovation. And $3,000 as well for Bradley Sinden. Dr. Chung Won Cho, the president of the World Governing Body, enjoying that moment there. Good effort from Sinden. And a nice show of respect there. Ahmad Abagosh, well, he came in with the big reputation, he delivered. And what a way to do it. Last second win, Sarah.
Yeah, amazing. He was really, really good today. I've enjoyed watching the men's minus 68 semis and finals.
Yep, good entertainment provided. And the fans enjoying that one. Ranking points on the road to Tokyo. confirmation there. Joel Gonzalez-Bonilla and Alexei Denisenko with a brace of bronzes. Sinden with the silver, and Ahmad Abagosh from Jordan with the gold. So the Jordanian will be jumping for joy on the road back after winning an excellent final there. A glittering moment and already a glittering career. Sinden slopes off, but does so with great credit. And of course the customary confusion: do you stay, do you stand, do you get your photo? I don't know if he'll get that check in his pocket though, to be fair.
Yeah, I always thought that. You know, you don't really know how it all works. You think, do you really take that to the bank? I know
Yeah.
you don't, but
But it'd be nice if you
it crossed my
tried.
mind at one point.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him try and getting on the tube with that one to get home. And of course that completes the men's under 68 kilogram grouping. There's your champion, Ahmad Abagosh from Jordan. Deserving of it. Well, he had both eyes on victory and seals it with a fantastic sudden death shot. And to the champion goes the rewards. Ranking points on the road now to the Olympic Games. And we will now move on to the under 67 kilogram final. Lauren Williams against Ruth Bagby. A mouth-watering prospect, Sarah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. A scary prospect. I just don't know how she can stop. Who's going to stop Lauren from, you know, progressing, I suppose. Doesn't mean she's going to win everything, because you don't know anyone that's going. You can't predict anything. But if you're going to beat Lauren, then you're going to have to fight the fight of your life at this moment in time, the way that she is fighting.
Well, can she produce the fight of her life here? Lauren Williams against Ruth Bagby. Bagby, of course, on paper, the favourite, world champion from the Ivory Coast. But Lauren Williams, well, she's such a one-pace fighter. She just drives forward, just like a Lamborghini in the night, fires through the air, and she's got that power. She's got the speed. Can she get the win?
One pace being 100 miles an hour.
Well, not to 100, but will it lead to naught in the end? Bagby trying to get the gold here. And we've seen before, Sarah, just in her approach, she's very calm and very patient. I doubt that she's going to get the chance to do. Now, if she does, that means that she's imposing her style on Williams.
Yeah, as it stands now, I'm trying to figure out how is Bagby going to deal with the ferociousness of Lauren. But she's a world champion for a reason. So when you come up against someone like Lauren, then you're going to have to show how you won that Worlds, because you're going to have to bring it out. But I hope she does, and it'd be good to see how two different styles can compete against each other at this level. Completely different styles.
Yep, the clash of styles and the clash of the top fighters. Williams against Bagby. Relative disappointment for the home nation so far. Mahama Cho, well, he would have came with eyes for gold. Couldn't quite get it done in the heavyweights. Likewise, Bradley Sinden by a whisker. So a bronze and a silver. Can Lauren Williams make it a gold? But Ruth Bagby, a tough competitor. And both fighters just getting ready in the background. That final on its way in just a few moments. Well, an understandable ovation from the Partizan home crowd. Lauren Williams, ranked 13th, first Grand Prix final. Big occasion for her. Looks relaxed though, Sarah.
She does. She's smiling. She's happy. She's got nothing to lose. She'll give it everything.
And she's going to have to give it all she's got. Ruth Bagby, a very calm competitor. That Olympic Games bronze medal, topped off by World Championship gold. And that super slow and steady win against Matea Jelic, so she should be plenty fresh. Bagby now used to the big occasion. A chance for Williams now to stamp her authority on what is a growing career. Plenty of encouragement. Hannah Sadiq, a nice little high five there. Big moments for the volunteers too. Inspiring stuff.
There's one person you can predict when they're going to kick. How many seconds are we going to say Lauren's going to...
She's just out of the traps, isn't she? She's like a sprinter, straight off the blocks, right into the chops, hopefully.
And off the mark in about half a second, but with good technique, good timing, good distance, and she's ready to react. So to everyone, to all the young people out there that think it's okay just to fly in with no reason, then not. Do it how Lauren does it.
Yep, she's got the technique, she's got the timing. What's her game plan going to be against Ruth Bagby? Well, we've seen the patient side of the Ivorian. She's got every technique in the book. As Neidis Tavares from Puerto Rico takes charge of this. The penultimate final here on day number 1 of the Grand Prix. 2 more days of Taekwondo action to come. But it's eyes down, look in, the final awaits. Under 67 kilogram Grand Prix gold awaits. Who's it going to be, Britain or the Ivory Coast, Williams or Bagby? Well, wherever you are, you get to find out. Ringside, show of respect. And time for a fight. Into the open stand straight away. Well, Bagby changing her tactics, doesn't wait, comes straight at Williams. Adaptation already.
Yeah, I like that, great. Giving Lauren something to think about. Good tactics from Bagby.
Yeah, she's turned her strengths against her, but Lauren Williams produces the headshot straight away, climbing up on the inside. I think that 2-point might be invalidated. Holding on the inside. Good refereeing from Neidis Tavares. Will she give a Gamjon as well? She most certainly will. So instead of 5-0, it should go to 3-1. Sharp-eyed from the ref. Not as quick on the scoreboard though. They want confirmation. I fully agree. Lauren Williams should be on 3, Bagby on 1. And the scoreboard operators not matching. The referee's right there.
Yeah, the referees are calling it in. It's difficult, I think, for the centre referee to know exactly what score it should be sometimes. I know that they should know, but I can quite honestly believe that it's not that as easy as we believe it should be.
No, I agree with that one. So obviously it was 5 points to 3 with the headshot from Williams. 2 points were taken off, as they should have been, from Williams. So for me, it should be 3-1. Yeah,
okay.
1 for the Gamjon, 3 for Williams, but it's business as usual. Straight out with the headshot from Williams, not wasting, goes with the punch. Good response from Bagby. A fight already, and both women just pushing away here. Williams goes with a chop over the shoulder, and she means business.
This is great. I love it. They're both fighting though. Bagby is not letting Lauren have her own way. Very, very strong competitor.
Yep, and showing that strength and showing that mettle here down the stretch. Headshot over the shoulder from Williams again. Good double from Bagby. Well, we've seen all the gears from Williams, and we've only had 30 seconds of this first round. Good back leg turning kick there from Bagby. Batters home against Williams. 7-5 now from the fighter from the Côte d'Ivoire. Goes again with the double. Close with the headshot there.
Certainly making Lauren think. And again, Lauren's cover there was open for Bagby to take that back leg.
Bagby battering home that back leg. The timing, textbook, and it's a Gamjon for holding. Williams just getting a little bit caught up in this. Has to calm down. So it's working well for Ruth Bagby. Back kick round the corner. Williams missing with the headshot, but she'll get the Gamjon.
I think Lauren needs to just have a couple of seconds rest, recompose. I'm not sure if that's in her mindset though to ever do that, but it would be what's needed right now, and she has done. She's taken that little rest there.
Yep, close with the reverse, summoned up the strength. It's not a question of fitness, it's, as you say, Sarah, a question of patience. But the punch straying upstairs, Nedis Tavares. Well, she's going to give the Gamjon. Lauren Williams wanted the video replay. Her coach saying no thank you. Rightly so. Bagby in the ascendancy, 5-point gap, 30 to go. Headshot over the shoulder. And that one, will it score or was it pulling?
That was Lauren's hand, which pulled the head guard off.
Well, it is 12-9. I think we're going to have a little conversation just to make sure that the head guard is in place. So Lauren Williams literally pulling herself back into this one. Good power from the Welsh fighter. Jabs forward, Bagby falls over in the act of the double. She'll take the 2, she'll give up the 1 for falling. And it's a 4-point game now. Into the last 10 seconds now. Great Britain's Lauren Williams tries a hook kick in the clinch. Manages it this time. Nedis Tavares. And she's not happy with it. She's having the 2 points invalidated. And Williams is going to have to change her tactics here. That's now her 4th Gamjon. Make that 5. So halfway through her allotment as we creep into the end of the first round. A headshot from Williams. Pulls herself back into a 2-point deficit. Breathless stuff, Sarah.
Yeah, no matter how many, I suppose, errors, if you can call it that, with Lauren's Gamjung, she does get a lot of Gamjungs, and I think that's just because she just wants to fight all the time. So she's obviously getting into a bit of a ruck where she can grab or she can fall, and then eventually at the end she'll pull a headshot off like she did at the end. So she's just so exciting to watch. But again, for me, in a few years, maybe those Gamjungs that she's collated there, is it 5 Gamjungs now?
It is, yes.
If she can not get the 5 Gamjungs now,
she's leading.
She would be leading by...
Yeah, she'd be a couple of points up.
A couple of points, and exactly the same in the semi-final as well. So something to work on, and I'm sure they're working on that in the gym already.
Yep, lessons to be learned. But
Bagby, though,
yeah,
she's...
top class.
Yeah, top class. That first round there. A completely different player from the semi-final. I think, if you like to fight, then it is difficult to fight someone like she did in the semi-final. Jelic didn't give her a fight and she wasn't able to pull out her best. Lauren's giving her a fight and looks like she's enjoying this as well.
Yeah, but I agree with that assessment. Enjoying the lion's share of the points as well as Ruth Bagby. 15-13, a high-scoring final here. Lauren Williams goes forward, big push kick. Dex Bagby, and she's going to get the Gamjon. Pulling it up, and it's getting ever closer here. Williams very much in the ascendancy now. Trying for another Gamjon, jumps with a little flicking Mamhama Cho style jump kick. Gamjon for stepping out.
Yeah, and now it's Lauren in the lead by 2 points. It's a protest here by...
Yep, the Ivory Coast coach. Which is not easy to say at this time of night. Looking for the points to be invalidated for pushing and then kicking. But a finely balanced match here. Nedis Tavares will communicate now what they're looking for.
I think for me the referee did well there. You've got to encourage continuous play, and for me they were both kind of in the mix trying to make something happen. So yeah, I believe that she did the right thing, but again, when you slow it down a little bit and someone else is going to view that.
Well, we can have a view at it here, Sarah. There's a push and a shove to get Bagby out, then the jump on the way through. Had the referee said stop?
I mean, really, for me, that was...
I thought it was legitimate.
I think that was great. I think that was action. I think they're both trying to make something work.
Yep, and Cheick Salasise, Olympic champion, trying to make his teammate work. Plenty of passion, and it is unsuccessful, as we said. Legitimate use there. And Williams showing that adaptation. Doesn't give up the Gamjon, and she is in with a real shout here. 17-15 in favour of Great Britain's Lauren Williams. Good spin from Williams there. Headshot attempted, lands cleanly. Bagby went for the spin, and a big headshot there, Sarah.
Yeah, a great headshot there, but a great attempt from Bagby as well. Trying something new, trying the spin, trying to make anything happen to create options for her to score on Lauren.
Got close with it. 20-15. in favour of Williams. That big headshot there, goes for it again, well blocked, but it sneaks round the shoulder of Ruth Bagby. Tries with a little jumping scissors on the inside as well. Bagby in trouble here, Williams in the ascendancy.
It's going to be hard now for Bagby to pull this back. There's quite a few points now she's got to go. She's rushing in. Another point there for Lauren.
Almeidas Tavares saying fight. I don't think there's much need for that. 25-15, a high scoring battle here in the copper box. Change of stance from Bagby. Can she get a change of fortune on the go here? It's been all about the Welsh wonder Williams. Can she score again? Showing patience, but pops in the shot, Sarah.
She's wearing her down now. Another one there. This is where the fitness, this is where you need to be able to deal with Lauren's level of conditioning.
And let's not forget, Ruth Bagby, world champion.
She was world champion in the first round and the first half of this round, but the second half of this round is just been too much for amazing back leg.
Yep, blasts at home there, Lauren Williams. Good response from Bagby.
Sorry, someone who couldn't do a back leg a few years ago. She's learning all the time.
She most certainly is. And she's wearing down Ruth Bagby. Well, what a response there as she retreats back to Paul Green. Absolutely perfect from Great Britain's Lauren Williams. And we talked about it before, Sarah. That ability to go from being in and around the medals to claiming the title.
She wants to win this so much, and she will not stop at 31 points. And you don't need me to tell you that. I think anyone watching this has never watched Taekwondo is not going to see Lauren Williams going back or stopping doing what she's been doing to get 31 points.
And 31 very well earned points. Not just that little simple push kick, the big headshot. So Ruth Bagby, we know she's got quality, she's got that comeback ability. She's going to have to draw on it now. Third and potentially final round here in the penultimate final of day number one. The wide-eyed Williams taking in every word from Paul Green and a smile as well. Well, here we go, eyes down, look in. Check Salah Cisse, as we said, Olympic champion, trying to give some encouragement. Ruth Bagby refusing the high five at the moment, just about there, reluctantly reaches for it, but it's the high scoring Williams. And of course, Sarah, a point gap possible.
Yeah, just looking here, 4 more points for Lauren would be a 20-point gap, which means it would end. As soon as someone gets 20 points gapped, it's the end of the match.
Well, what a way that would be to finish. Lauren Williams tries to chip and charge forward. She gets the first of those, scores again. Can she find one more to make herself the Grand Prix champion? Lauren Williams on the cusp. Ruth Bagby, world champion, vested and defeated. Wonderful shot there. That's a 20-point gap. They're going to run it through to the end of the third round. Spin from Bagby. 20-point gap. Reverse turning kick, decks it there. Well, Paul Green asking for the same. The Gamjon given. 36-15. 21 to the good. Well, irrespective whether it's a delay, it will not be denied. Williams on the front foot. Good shot from Bagby. She looks shook, but she's trying to fight on here.
She's just too much. She can't deal with Lauren's level of she just does not stop.
A good block there from Bagby. Saves her face, but can she save this championship now? Lauren Williams very much in the ascendancy. Into the last minute here, the Grand Prix final in the Copper Box in London. And it's Lauren Williams with a wonderful punch there. Doesn't score, but gives Bagby plenty to think about.
She's just unstoppable. I'm in like awe of watching the fight now.
Well, into the last 45 seconds, Lauren Williams of Great Britain against Ruth Bagby, world champion. It's the British fighter in blue, 36-19, trying to close the door on the ambitions of the Ivorian. And she's fought so well, finishes with a flourish, big push kick to the body. And Ruth Bagby, well, she's had a real difficult battle, and Williams not giving up, going right to the end. You mentioned her fitness, Sarah. Testament here with that headshot attempt.
I think Ruth Bagby just might want this to end now, because it's just enough's enough.
Well, we're into the closing stages now. Lauren Williams turning on the style, steps forward with the back kick. Into the last 10 seconds, another headshot. Well, don't adjust your screens, with a little bit of gymnastic capoeira there from Williams. Tumbles over, but she's taken a tumble to the tactics of Bagby, and she's beaten and battered her around the ring, and it is going to be a fantastic win. Great Britain's Lauren Williams, Grand Prix champion in fine style. Forget the scoreboard, there's your champion. Williams victorious, and the British fans delighted.
Wow, she was just absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever seen anyone win a match like that on home soil. 20 points against the current world champion.
I'm just glad you're here, Sarah, because my mathematics is a rubbish. 43-23, a huge score. It's like a basketball score, but with the slam dunk at the end there was Williams.
She's not even tired,
and she's just walking around.
I don't think she's tired.
Out for a stroll around Stratford Way will be Lauren Williams, and Paul Green delighted. The coach and the fighter combine again, and it is gold for the first time in the Grand Prix for Lauren Williams, and wonderful success to boot. Confirmation there, Bagby a distant second, Williams victorious and more than deserving of that title.
I feel quite gutted for Ruth Bagby though, because that first round was a really, really good round, and I thought, yeah, this is going to be a very, very high quality match from both players. But in the end, Lauren just wears people down and just does not stop. And I think, how long can you deal with that if you can't compete with it? And so, fair play to Ruth Bagby in the first round. I was very, very impressed.
I think you're right, you called it correctly. You said she came out as the world champion in the first round, and Lauren Williams just beat it out of her. Yeah,
I think you can't necessarily say that Ruth Bagby didn't play as a world champion should, because she probably did, but Lauren was just too good, and she just, like you said, just took it away from her.
She most certainly did, and she takes home the big prize here. And as we see some of the highlights, well, that will live long in the memory for Williams. And as Sarah Stevenson rightly said, top class from Bagby, but Williams is the winner. And as if by magic, it will now be time for the athletes to get their rewards straight off the mat, and they'll be back to the podium. And that's what it's all about. Well, Ivan DeBoss from Peru, IOC member, highly experienced Taekwondo representative. And nice moments for the dignitaries, but even better for the fighters. Lauren Williams, the best of them. McPherson and Yelich bringing up the rear. Bagby, a top class finalist. Well, she won't need a flashlight to find her way through the night here. She shines brightest coming out of the shadows. Williams was the winner and did it in fine style.
For me, John, Tokyo 2012 is not who's going to win the Minors 67 gold, it's who's going to stop Lauren Williams from winning the Minors 67 gold.
That's a great shout, because it's in terms of making that peak, although right at the start of the Olympic cycle, we know anything can happen, but Lauren Williams, from having taken a few tough blows, I saw her in the Grand Prix in Morocco where she lost against Oh Hae-ri of Korea very closely, tough on her, but she's learned from it. And that's the sign of a champion. Sometimes a good fighter will learn in the car park on the way home. A great fighter figures it out in the mat.
Yeah, and I think she's just learning all the time. Every single day in the gym, she's learning and improving and adding more skills to her bag. But what she has, you can't teach, and we've said this a lot. Anyone out there that thinks that she just got this naturally, she hasn't. She has worked and worked and worked. Her family sacrificed their own lives, put their own lives on hold
just on that,
to get to Lauren to where she is.
Yeah, you're right. I was speaking to our dad in Muju out in Korea at the World Championships, and they were actually using slot machines and vending machines to generate money to send her to competitions. So set up a business, made it into a family commitment, and as you know yourself, that family support is key, as we see Ruth Baggett getting her silver, McPherson and Yelich with the bronze, but that family support, a lovely moment for them now to celebrate, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, everything that they've sacrificed, Lauren obviously is never going to forget what they've done for her, because if it wasn't for her family, she wouldn't be here now. She wouldn't be getting this gold medal around her neck, and a nice little check there as well.
As you say, a nice check and a wonderful result. And another Welsh fighter grabbing a gold, so they must make them tough down the Welsh way. We've had two great fighters from Doncaster. We've now got two top fighters from Wales, and on top of the podium, on top of the world, Lauren Williams, and she is beaming, absolutely loving it. And sometimes with a champion, they're their own worst critic. They're very tough on themselves. You can see the relief now, that stress is gone.
Yeah, she's so happy now. Doesn't even look like she's just finished fighting. She just looks like she can go again. She's like a Duracell bunny, she just keeps going.
She was indeed in charge as she charged towards the gold. Yelich and McPherson with bronze, Bagby with silver. And Great Britain's Lauren Williams, the best of them all. And that of course completes the women's under 67 kilograms. A bronze, a silver and a gold for host Great Britain. Happy days for friends and family in the crowd. And happy days for us too, because we have one more heavyweight final to enjoy. It is the men's turn. Can they match what the women have just produced there? The female fighters, the Fab Four with their rewards. And Lauren Williams taking her moment in front of the world's media.
It's too cool. She's too cool for school, isn't she? She's just so happy and relaxed.
Well, to the winner goes the spoils. A lovely smile there from the champion. And it's a hard-earned way to get to that. A long old day, lots of training, lots of preparation. But the last laugh goes to Lauren.
She's a Grand Prix winner. She's European senior champion, junior world champion. So I'm sure there's much more to come from Lauren.
Yep, the sky's the limit for Lauren Williams. But who's going to take it to the limit now in the men's heavyweight final? That's the next and last entertainment here on day number 1. Rafael Aikiev against Inkyodon. Do stay with us for that. I hope you're enjoying the Taekwondo. More to come. And can the men deliver in the men's heavyweight? Just moments away. Rafael Aikiev ready for this one. He's had a big day defeating the Olympic champion from Niger, Abdullah Issafu, and that win against Mahama Cho as well. Inkyodon, by way of contrast, comes into this one third place in his home World Championships. And just snuck past Sajid Mardani in that semi-final. All to play for. The last heavyweight action here on day number 1. More to come tomorrow, of course, where the weekend will bring yet more Taekwondo action. Well, here we go, the last action, and who's going to be the hero in this one? So just a little update for you in terms of the rules. Both you and I were thinking 20-point gap. You're 100% right. That's what I was aware of. But in the televised matches, no 20-point gap. So I've just been updated on that by Luke Cook, the Moldovan coach. Of course, Aaron Cook going on the last day, so ever ready with the rules. But I don't think we're going to see a 20-point gap in this one. This one has a stalemate written on it.
Yeah, I bet some pretty big things on that not being the case.
Well, Lauren Williams overcame Ruth Bagby in the last final. Ismail Ab El Magid Ismail from Egypt. He's obviously a big name in the refereeing circles. He's running the rule over this one. Well, Inkyodon, he will be aware that this is a potential banana skin against the bigger Russian. So cheers from the Korean contingent in the crowd. Kiev against Inkyodon. Inkyodon, the Korean, the shorter of the two by some margin. Nice little skip in there, old school Barimbal technique. Tries to flick it in under the guard.
He's more active already in this round than he was in the semi-final.
Yeah, he's obviously saved up his energy, as you say.
He's trying to get into the shorter distance with the Russian there and scoring 2 points as he does that as well. Working in that short distance, very difficult for IKF in that distance. You can see there he struggles there, so great tactics there from Inkyodon.
As you rightly say, Sarah Stevenson with the expert analysis. Inkyodon getting the game plan correct, cutting, sticking, changing and flicking that shot in. Landed 4 but only scored the 2, but it's 2 useful ones. IKF now has to come forward, and we know Inkyodon has a decent back kick. Haven't seen it yet, but it's this distance here you spoke of, Sarah.
That's the distance where he needs to work, because anything other than that, he has the covers too good. Again, that was in the short distance, a headshot there.
Well, he may be the shorter of the two, but he's taking a big lead here. Kiev, well, he was unfancied coming into this one. He's done well to get this far into the final. Big wins, as we said, against Muhammad Cho, but Inkyodon, a good start from the Korean. Game plan pivotal.
Excellent game plan, yeah, really, really impressed with his tactics coming into this match.
And he's been more than a match for Kiev. Into the last 40 seconds. This the final of day number 1. But panic not, plenty more Taekwondo to come over the next coming days. Nice little reach down the stairs and pop it up, old school Korean style.
John liked that one.
I did love that. You see how excited I got about that?
He mimicked it.
Almost headbutted Sarah Stevenson, which is never a good idea, as all of her competitors will tell you. But slightly ahead. Well, Kiev just grabbing now as well. So the Russian, of course, can bring it back in a moment's notice, but it's been a good start from Korean Inkyodon. Well, he's used that front leg to good effect. Sarah Stevenson nodding her head in appreciation as we come to the end of the round. Tactical masterclass.
Yes, again, I think Inkyodon has got his tactics down to a T. It's always good that you can have a game plan, and you can have, you know, whatever you want to call it, strategy, tactics, game plan. It's all the same thing, really, you know. But when it works, it can give you so much confidence. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but this is really working for him. And that front leg he's using, although it's not scoring, it's keeping IKF away a little bit and making him think, you know. And then if he knows he can't score to the body, a great headshot there by Inkyodon. He can take that Gamjunker falling over, because he has to reach. He's so tall, he's going to fall over most probably.
Exactly right, he reached the heights there, landed the headshot and pulls himself into a 6-1 lead. Rafael Akayev, what can he produce here? As we said, coming into this one now, trying to show a bit of quality, but Inkyodon's had his number, but the numbers that matter. 6-1. And he's in the head a little bit of IKF. Now the difficulty, as you've rightly said, Sarah, if you've got a tactic and a strategy, you keep going, keep using it, but sometimes people can change and lose that confidence.
He has to come out a little bit, IKF, then just coming out of his comfort zone there. Again, another point in the clinch for Inkyodon.
Yep, and just a little response as well for IKF. He did a little jump up and flick, add the Gamjon, so it is an 8-4 lead, as you can see. So double the score for Inkyodon. But he has, well, there's the moment for him now. Loves to shift and change left, but IKF doing a little bit better there, closing down.
Yeah, his tactics now has got to be better and more proactive in the clinch. You can't keep standing still and letting Inkyodon have his own way. And he's doing much better.
Big punch there from Inkyodon on the way through. Well, I say a big punch, but he's left the space. In fact, IKF is trying to steal the tactics of Inkyodon.
Yeah, he's doing good. He can do something in the clinch. Maybe not a lot, but what he can do is working now for him. And again, a little bit of a surprise for Inkyodon, so he's not having his own way now.
Yep, no question, but I think no surprise. The Korean coach himself, a former 2-time world champion, looking for that to be invalidated. The referee gave the Gamjon for holding, but looking for the 2 points to be taken away. Well, this could prove pivotal here in this last final. We've seen tactics, we've seen timing, we've seen big scores. We've seen a few snooze fests as well, let's be honest. The fighters just being calm and patient. But this one now going down the stretch. Stands at 9-6. The Korean coach wants 2 of those points to be removed. And let's wait and see.
Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe. He was holding him, he was grabbing.
So the arms are on the shoulders. The referee gives the Gamjon. So that would invalidate it, technically. But I think the points were added. Kim Min-chul looking for those 2 to be removed. And whilst not a game changer, certainly changed the momentum. Benrik Tanridi, the centre referee, waiting patiently, as are we. And a long old day. We're now British Standard Time, about 21:50, 10 to 10 in the evening. Fighters will get in here, what time in the morning would you think, Sarah?
It depends what match they're on, but if the match is starting at 9:30, then you're going to have to be here around 8, to give yourself enough time. But his points will be invalidated.
Yep, the long day and the patience is worth it. The sharp-eyed Korean coach makes sure that the 2 are removed, and that gives a nice little cushion now for Inkyodon. Front leg attempt from IKF, getting closer.
Yeah,
flicks one up there.
Much better from IKF, trying to keep him away line, not letting him get into the distance. So having to be more active.
And the good old-fashioned bache kia, that's always a favourite.
We like that one.
That was an old-school favourite. Inkyodon using the old-school technique, stepping in on the blind side, changing with the left. IKF doing well, though. Keeping himself in this contest. A couple of Gamjons on the board, 3-point gap.
IKF struggling a little bit in his attack. It's not really his game, but he has to try and keep Inkyodon out of his distance. So having to be forced into a bit of a comfort zone that he doesn't like.
No question about it. He's been made to feel second best. He's been second best so far, but not an insurmountable lead as we go into the last seconds here. Inkyodon defending, but also managing the ring very well there as he trots back to his corner. 3-point gap, last round. Well, last minute bits of advice as we go into the last round here, the final of day one. Who's going to come out on top? Oh, we've seen Aikiev come from behind before, not least against Muhammad Cho. He's going to have to do it again. I mentioned had a little chat with Inkyodon before it. Didn't think he was going to get past Sajid Mardani. Not the best in the semis.
No. Much better in this match though. He seems to know exactly what he wants to do, how he's going to try to win, so we're seeing a little bit more from him.
Can he produce more here in the third and final round? Aikiev, the taller figure, stalking forward. Inkyodon takes a low kick there, and he'll be happy to take that. It might hurt, but the Gamjon hurts even more.
It's only got to hurt for 1 minute 50 seconds.
Well, the $5,000 will make it feel a lot better, as will the ranking points for the Olympic Games. Aikiev been put under pressure, but too much holding on the inside there. Inkyodon saying no, it was pushing rather than holding. So we're going to see another video replay.
It's quite difficult to do that when, for me, from this angle, he was holding. So,
well, he
maybe.
did. But that's a little chat that between fighter and coach. You would know from the British team. Does the coach decide to throw the card? Does the fighter decide? How does it work?
I think you can have an idea of, you can set something out, but when it's in the moment, you know, if your player's saying protest and you're thinking, no, I'm going to save my card because we might need it for something more important when it's a little bit closer, or I think you can set something out, but ultimately it comes down to the moment.
Yep, no question. It's just moments to go in this one. Important. As Gamjon gives a little crumb of comfort for Rafael Ikaev. What's the referee's pronouncement? Unsuccessful. Card is gone. Referee pockets it and we are underway again. 10-7. Tense times now. Ikaev back in this one. Backing away. Inkyodon trying to use the front leg. Still plenty of time, 1 minute and 30 to go. One headshot from the Russian, tries the big back kick on the way through. Back leg turning kick, doesn't score. Left on the inside, coming closer.
Still trying to get into that short distance. I was just about to say we haven't seen Inkyodon trying to get into that short distance, but he did then, but oh, nice. An amazing front leg.
But he's lost his video replay card, so can't protest that one.
A shame when something looks so good.
That was clean
headshot.
Clean,
but we carry on, we move on, we know the rules.
Yeah, rules is
rules.
rules.
What it is.
Yeah, ruling the roost at the moment. No, Inkyodon into the last minute here. Ikaev trying to find a little shot on the inside. Nothing doing on the scoreboard. Big spin, big miss. Headshot close though. Thought about a Aaron Cook style sandwich shot there, but the shot was closed. Couldn't cash in. Loses the Gamjon instead. Last 30 seconds now. Big punch from Inkyodon.
It's good to see Aikiev really trying now. He's trying to pull out some techniques that he's got there, but a little bit falling short on his technique.
And also the covering on the inside from Inkyodon. As you say, the technique not quite working, but the cover from the Korean. He's done well to recover. Lovely evasion there.
Nice back kick, nice to Ichagi there. Unsuccessful, but nice to see anyway.
Yep, gives Aikiev lots to think about, but thinking of glory and finishing with a flourish there. Great headshot there from Inkyodon. Claps to the head of Aikiev and raises the roof here in the copper box. Aikiev has decided enough is enough, my friend. I'm off skate. Game over for Aikiev. Inkyodon, the champion, takes the plaudits, takes the prize and takes the pot of gold at the end as well. Final. Inkyodon, tactics over size, skill over power, and it is Korean gold to complete the heavyweight set. And we will jump straight onto the medal presentation. If you can stay with us, that would be fantastic. If you cannot, join us again tomorrow. Of course, we have plenty more Olympic Taekwondo action from 7 till 9. BBC Red Button, BBC website, and of course the World Taekwondo Federation will be streaming it as well. Inkyodon, top class champion, and that completes our first day, Sarah. We've seen a little bit of everything. Most important, welcome back to you.
Thank you very much.
And have you enjoyed a few highlights? Give us a few seasoned moments.
Well, Lauren Williams got to be the highlight of the day. So that's that one. I think for me as well, seeing the -68 final, just the whole match. You know, Bradley was awesome. Abagosh, just that golden point for me was great. A nice one to see.
And a nice one to finish on as well. Big headshot from Inkyodon, completing the sets.
Yeah. Inevitable at the end, actually. I was just about to say that. You know, he was walking on, not great preparation, open to a headshot, and just to finish the match. Inkyodon took the advantage and just give him that last bit of confidence at the end.
Yep, and the confidence paid off. The movement, the timing, and the technique in the end. Inkyodon seals it with a headshot, and he will now receive his just rewards. And of course, speaking of those rewards, medal ceremony. All 4 fighters ready to go. Well, straight off the mat, back to the podium for their rewards. And he's going to feel it tomorrow. A few low kicks, a few dull ones to the hips.
And the big guys, aren't they, as well? I think that the one from IKF there in the first or second round, I think it was, right in the thigh, that will hurt tomorrow. But, like you said, it doesn't hurt as much. And you've got a nice big check. Quite a few ranking points. It'll be fine.
He will indeed. A successful day at the office for Inkyodon. And there's one more day in the books in terms of Taekwondo action here. We started with the Para Taekwondo, moved now into Olympic Taekwondo. Well, Muhammad Cho stands at 6'3", so that gives you an indication. Mardani 6'4", Ikev 6'5". But the middleweight, the shortest of them all, well, he will stand tallest. Inkyodon, big man on campus with the gold. Credit-worthy effort from Muhammad Cho, though.
Yeah, I think it was difficult. IKF made it really hard for Cho, but I think, for me, Muhammad Cho is a better athlete than probably all those people there, and that's not being biased. He is, and I think on a different day, it could have been him with the gold.
No, I think that's fair comment. Fair comment.
Unfortunately for him, it wasn't his day.
Well, he will live to fight another day. As you say, those ranking points as well for Mardani. Rafael Aikiev, the commemorative belt. They had to take a belt in the jaw from Inkyodon. Oh, Inkyodon, the champion, saved the best till last, scoring resolutely, lands it clean, and of course that completes all of our Taekwondo action here on the first day of the Grand Prix. Join us again tomorrow for more Taekwondo action. Sarah Stevenson, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Look forward to more action tomorrow. Confirmation, Muhammad Cho, Sajid Marjani with a brace of bronzes, Aikiev with silver, Inkyodon the champion, and we will leave you with the closing shots as they go to get their just rewards with the media, and you will be rewarded with more Taekwondo action same time tomorrow. But from both Sarah and I, for the moment, it's goodbye for now.